You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
Feeling fresh as hell.
Well, you guys better enjoy it. The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Do this together. Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
welcome back, everybody, to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wooldog, sitting with my buddies, Kev, Hug, and Duggan.
Hey, guys.
And Kyle, the coach, Duggan.
Hi, guy. Very indifferent, Kevin.
Yeah, it's not indifferent. It's just kind of just a little sad. Just a pinch. I'll be okay though. Talk to you guys a little bit. I'll feel better.
Of course, that's what we're here for, folks.
It's your
we're here
only
to talk
job.
It
It's your only reason
to make you feel better.
We're on this. As we know, the world does revolve
Dancing
around
for you,
Kevin.
Kevin. Is this helping? Is this making you feel better?
It actually is a little bit. Keep dancing.
All right, folks. Well, obviously not the way we wanted the game to go, but we're here to talk about it. We're here to get through it together. Lots to talk about, obviously. We've got the big game to talk about, all the stuff going on around Twitter. Talk about some of the quotes that we've got from post-game coach. We've got, as always, a Bolt Insight, a fan-focused, and another Brisket Abroad and Ask Boltfam. I think we're going to shoot for 3 hours for this one, folks. Strap in.
Yep.
We keep adding segments left and right. I think it's going to be a feature-length movie by the end of it. So let's talk about it. Let's go through this one step at a time, folks. Sunday night, game against the 49ers. Obviously, the deck was stacked against us, seeing the 49ers coming off of a bye week, getting a lot of players back from their injury report.
Yeah.
Just about everybody under the sun said the 49ers were going to win. And they did, but they didn't quite win as handedly as some people were predicting. Chargers
two
were
halves, man.
Chargers were in it, at least in the first half. I mean, that first drive looked like we were about to smoke these fools. It looked like it was going to be just an utter blowout. And it just kind of petered off after that. And I mean, there's a lot of things that contribute to what ended up happening. But yeah, that second half, it was a scoreless second half, which was shocking to say the least, that it ended up going that way. Chargers only lost 16-22. So we were in it.
And we were winning. I saw a stat. We were winning for 55 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had that game. Our defense played so well in this game. It was like just for what we were expecting, what we've seen in the past. The problem is we're still a half team. Like it's either we start slow and we pick it up and finish the game, or we start like we did here and then don't finish. And that's what's it's so frustrating. It's just. But the defense felt like they look at this box score: 3,
consistent
7,
game,
3, 9, and this is with more guys going down. So
more guys going down, and our offense we had 15 offensive plays in the second half or something crazy like that.
Yeah,
wow.
It's like you're on the field the entire time. Yeah, you're going to give up 12 points is all we gave up in the second half.
Yeah.
We were on the field the entire game.
I feel so much like, and we were talking about during the game, Adam, where it was like seeing Coach Staley go up against when he was de-coordinating for the Rams, he's going up against these Niners. So maybe he has a little bit more familiarity with some of these teams and some of how they play. But seeing what the adjustments he made this week with new guys having to come in, I still feel really good about what this defense can be. Like if they just can get it all together.
Yeah, absolutely. There were bright moments in this game. We still saw Khalil Mack getting himself a sack. We saw a blocked punt from Nick Neiman. That was pretty wild.
It literally felt like whenever they were making catches, the Chargers were going helmet on ball. They were hitting these wide receivers so hard, spinning them around. Like everything about when somebody had a ball and there was a reception, it was a violent finish.
Yeah.
Which was really refreshing to see. It wasn't like a soft tackle. It was like, we're getting this ball out. And they did it. That was one of the first series or first couple series.
We kept Garoppolo to no touchdowns. He didn't throw a single touchdown.
Yeah.
So it's frustrating to see, like Kevin said, for us to be winning for the first 55 minutes and then lose it in the last few minutes of the game. But, it is what it is. We knew that this was going to be a tough game, and obviously it was. And there's no point in sulking about it. We need to move on to the next game, which was the game that is flexed to next Sunday night. So it's going to be yet another primetime game at SoFi Stadium. Both the Duggan brothers will be in attendance. And so I think that's the extra juice that will push this team over.
Me and Kevin?
Put them in the win column. Absolutely. Yes. Are you kidding me?
Let's bring our juice.
Bring the juice.
I'll bring the juice.
Bring all my juice with me. I'll put it in my
Wheeze the juice.
I'll put it in my carry-on, my check bag. I'm bringing all my juice.
Just make sure it's in a 3-ounce bottle or less.
A lot of 3-ounce bottles of juice.
A lot of 3-ounce bottles.
All right. Well, let's look at what some of the people are saying around Twitter, starting with Lorenzo Neal, who tweeted out, "What an effort by the Chargers, playing without one of the best pass rushers in the league, without Keenan, one of the top receivers, and Mike Williams, and still able to compete with what some call a Super Bowl loaded roster coming off a bye."
Yeah, I mean,
that's what it was.
That's all you can say. Like, everyone had this team beating us by at least 2 touchdowns. Like, it was a unanimous 49ers are going to win
the spread
game.
was what, 7 points? Yeah.
So everyone that bet on the Chargers on the spread, you won some money.
I just think that, like, the people that are upset about the loss, which rightfully so, I'm upset that we lost.
Yeah.
But they're like
happy that we lost.
calling us, getting upset because we had a lead and then we blew it and we couldn't finish. I feel like those are the same people that were upset. Like, they were going into the game expecting to lose by a lot, and then they got excited because we were up, and then it's like, oh, now I'm pissed off again. Type of attitude.
Sad ways.
And that is kind of the Charger way. It's give you a little bit, keep you interested, and then rip it away.
Yeah. Then pull you back in. All right. Well, looking over at Daniel Popper, who tweeted out Brandon Staley on Chargers defense last night. Schematically, that was as good of a plan that I've ever had, to be honest with you, since I've been calling defenses.
I've never heard a coach really say this before. What did you take? I don't know if you've heard this yet, Kyle. What do you take from that?
Well, I mean, I think it's a matter of executing the game plan and knowing what they're going to do. Because sometimes you can put together an entire game plan dependent on, this is what I think they're going to show up with. But if they show up with something totally different, a different game plan, then your scheme isn't going to line up. So it sounds like he just, kind of like you had talked about, he knows the Niners a little bit. So he could anticipate the type of offense, knowing, hey, I know them looking at the Chargers. This is what Staley likes to run. Here's how we're going to attack them. Staley knew that and was able to counter it. And then on top of that, it's getting the turnovers, right? It's like, we gave up some yards. They were moving the ball a little bit, but we were able to force turnovers at big times and have big sacks and blocked punts. It's like all of that stuff working together is when that just sucks, because special teams and defense played so good. Our offense just was god awful there in the second half.
It was weird too, seeing, they would drive on us. They'd get inside the 10, but we'd stop them. We'd stop them inside. We'd stop them on the goal line. We'd stop them 3 yards out.
Yeah.
Like, we did that all night long. It was the ultimate bend, don't break, approach, which, you don't, and we didn't let up any huge plays on us. Like, I think
big plays. That was the big thing of the night. We didn't have any big plays that we gave up.
Which, great. Finally. Awesome. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. Didn't let up any of those big ones. Daniel Popper also tweeted out wide receiver Mike Williams and wide receiver Keenan Allen will be back in practice this week, Brandon Staley said.
Please.
Thank you.
God, especially
Football
Mike Williams. He plays so good against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, he just I want Mike Will back so bad. If we can get Keenan back, that'd be like the cherry on top of everything,
It really would be.
I just don't, no more. I'm tired of the fucking setback. So do what you got to do. If you can't be back, I just don't want to hear about it anymore. Just come back and play, please.
Yeah. All right. Well, just when we thought we wouldn't see Jerry Tillery anymore, Adam Schefter tweeted out 8 teams: Las Vegas, Detroit, Carolina, Indianapolis, San Francisco, New York Jets, New York Giants, and Kansas City put in waiver claims for former Chargers first-round pick Jerry Tillery, who was assigned to the Raiders. So Jerry Tillery to the Raiders. We'll get to see him one more time.
We know where to run now.
Yeah.
Right?
He's on the field. Run at that guy.
Run right at him. Perfect.
I'm sure that will be the game plan.
Especially after the Raiders, like, did you guys see that? The tears, the car tears?
Oh, yes.
Oh my
yes.
God. So embarrassing.
So embarrassing.
Yeah.
They're already talking about, like, they're prepared that the seas's over, it sounds like, and they're going to be going
Do you
for
know
other...
what I put my body through to play? God. I did it for you guys. Not the gajillion dollars you pay me.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up, you baby. You go out there, you play the game of football, and you get paid millions of dollars. No one feels bad for you. Nobody.
No.
I don't care that you lost. I hope you lose every game the rest of your career, you big fat baby. God, that's pathetic.
Shit.
Yeah, no, the difference between, I mean, I was thinking about it, because obviously, when Phillip Rivers was retiring, he gave a pretty emotional speech as well, but this was not Carr retiring with a career of Phillip Rivers. This was mid-season, like, I'm tired of losing tears. Like,
this isn't fun anymore.
I'm not getting my way.
I want to quit. I don't want to play football anymore.
It hurts too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll know where to run the ball. Jerry Tillery.
Hey, whenever I'm feeling bad,
pocket.
just look at what's going on with the Raiders, and you feel better. That's just what it
I
is.
feel a lot better.
Yeah, knowing the Raiders are 2-7 makes everything taste a little bit sweeter. Looking over at the injury report, Fernando Ramirez tweeted out. Hang on. Fernando Ramirez tweeted out, Chargers coach Brandon Staley says defensive tackle Christian Covington has a torn pec, most likely done for the season, and defensive tackle Tito Obonya out for the season with a patella tendon rupture.
Like, what in God's name is going on?
This is the worst luck I've ever seen as a Charger fan. We've had seasons where we've gotten injured, but we're walking out of these games. Every game, there's two important players
for the season
that go down.
For the season,
And it's not for like a week. It's like IR or the season.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
crazy. And the fact
we didn't talk about Justin Herbert getting basically, he was under evaluation for concussion and screwed us over in the end of the first half.
Yeah, that was a very inopportune time for that to happen.
That was not even an injury. That was
isn't that
declared an injury, also coming back to get us.
Wasn't that the thing though, that they, because of that situation and they had to go to the booth, he had to sit out a series? That's like the rule,
he
right?
Had to sit out the rest of that series. I don't know what the rule is, but he went into the tent, they evaluated him, and he was totally fine, but he didn't even have a helmet because he could not go back in. And then we go incomplete, kick a field goal.
Yeah,
it's just
Chase. So I don't know, dude.
Chase didn't seem very prepared for that situation. I'm not.
You're going to be confident behind that offensive line?
Well, Justin, it's amazing what Justin's able to do. You see, like a quarterback that's not
second half,
Justin.
we had like 45 yards total offense.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he shouldn't have been scared. I'm just saying it felt like, when the camera cut to him, it was like, oh shit, give me my hat. I gotta get on the field.
He thought about warming up, but he's like, F it, I'm going.
Right. He was on the side playing, Snake on his phone, and all of a sudden it was like,
it was not a good. It was definitely not a good showing. But
I'm just glad he didn't get hurt. That hit just scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. No, that was a massive hit.
And the fact that people are like, he shouldn't have been ejected. He lowered his head. That looked very fucking brutal. Yeah. And you're getting all these other quarterbacks on ticky-tack stuff. So I'm glad that happened. It's just a bummer because we had momentum. That could have been a touchdown.
Right.
We could have gotten a touchdown out of that.
Yeah, that was a real good drive that really stalled out because of that instance. Looking more at the injury report, Jeremy Fowler tweeted out more bad injury news for the Chargers. Tito Obonya is expected to be out for the year with a quad injury per source. 5th round pick was showing promise. So, yeah, those are two guys out for the season. Nick Cothrell tweeted out Chargers head coach Brandon Staley says quarterback Justin Herbert and linebacker Kenneth Murray cleared today's concussion protocol assessment. So, no issues Murray, there.
The more I watch him, he's a liability, dude. He really, really is. He just flies around,
flying around.
He doesn't think about anything. He doesn't care about his run fit. He's just going full speed.
We had a guy that was like that. Who am I trying to think of now? Was it Adai? Yeah,
Adai was exactly who you were talking about.
Yeah.
You said that.
Yeah. It was another guy that just
concussions.
Yeah, was just flying around, throwing his body into everything. Which I love the spirit. I love the lack of fear, but
you gotta throw your body in the right direction.
yeah,
Was there anything specific that you saw, Kyle, that was like, what the hell?
I can't remember the specific play. Maybe that'll be my coach's corner for Thursday, but it was just these like what looked like a very obvious run fit for him, meaning you're supposed to be your gap responsibility. You're supposed to be between two offensive players. The gap that two offensive players create, every defensive player has to assume one of those. He just completely, now I could be wrong because I don't know who had what, but it looked very much like he just absolutely, there's this giant gaping hole that he should have run through, and he just lowered his head and blew up Khalil Mack like straight into his back. They ran for like a good 15-yard chunk. So it's just like, I don't know. He's just kind of a bat out of hell, doesn't know where he's going is what it feels like a little bit. But maybe I'll do my coach's corner on that if no one asks for anything else.
Shit.
Well, now let's look at let's see, injured player status from coach. Chris Rumpf will be back in practice full this week. You like to hear that?
We need that.
You will see Mike Williams and Keenan Allen back in practice this week. We like to hear that. To the extent we'll keep you posted on that, but they will be back in practice this week. Donald Parham is still a ways off. Joshua Kelly is trending very positive. He has one game left on injured reserve, and Dustin Hopkins is probably going to be a week away.
Hey, Dicker the kicker. I'm okay. That guy's going to be on a team when we end up going back to Dustin because he's doing really well.
No, he's been playing very well under pressure, and I mean, he accounted for most of our points this last game. So
more than half.
Yeah. So he'll definitely have a landing spot for sure. Looking more at some of Staley's quotes here on the depth along the defensive line. Staley said, we'll have to work through that over the next 36 hours. We'll probably make some acquisitions and then promote Joe Gaziano at some point this week. We have him currently on our team. We'll be working over the next 36 hours to make a couple of acquisitions to get us to full strength.
It's the only guy that we have on the roster to activate. Like the only active squatter is him.
They need to add like 3 or 4 guys. They need to add like 3 guys, a couple to the practice squad and one at least to the active roster.
Yeah,
because we finished the game with
active
3
roster now. Yeah. When you elevate Joe, now you have 4.
Crazy.
Well, yeah, because I mean we're talking about Austin Johnson going down, Jerry Tillery getting waived, then losing Tito and Christian Covington. Like, that's a lot of loss of the defensive line.
Day. Who's left? Sebastian Joseph Day, Braden Fajoco. Who's the
and
final
Gaziano?
Third?
Is it Morgan?
No, there's another one.
Morgan
Fox,
Fox. Yeah.
Yep. That's it. Those are the boys.
Yeah. I saw Boltby put out like here's 3 names. It was bring back Linval Joseph as an option.
Wouldn't hate it.
Which he just did. We'll see. And then Isaac Rochelle is another option. He just got
waived by the Browns.
And then the big one, who's not quite the player he used to be, but Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah.
Like you're in like desperate times now. Like you need to go get somebody that's not like grabbing somebody from someone else's practice squad. Like you need to have somebody that has had reps in the NFL. So hopefully they come up with a really good plan, and coach has another great defensive plan against the Chiefs this week.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna find out pretty quick. They got to get it done here before practice starts up tomorrow. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And it's just hard. And then you're adding these guys. It's like you have to dumb down what you do. They have no idea what our scheme is. None of the terminology. Everything has to be dumbed down once you put those guys on the field.
Right. I mean, I'm not too worried about it. Obviously, we need bodies because I mean that's just that room is just depleted.
Because we're bound to have an injury throughout the game.
It's bound to happen. Yeah. So that's the thing is like it's really just because it's bound to happen. I mean, Staley being able to coach the defense to hold the 49ers to what they were able to accomplish with, I can't remember. Tito went down earlier. I think he went down the first or second quarter. I can't remember. And then Covington went down, I think, in the second half. So knowing that even with those guys down, we were still able to accomplish what we could on the defense. I'm not saying to completely rely on that because obviously you need to have bodies on that line, but I'm not as worried about it. It wasn't the defense that made that game what it was. It was the offense not being able to do anything in the whole second half. So
And Braden played really well too. So he's clutch. Like whenever he gets an opportunity, he plays well. So he's going to be the number one guy in there. He's going to be right in there in the middle.
That's all right. I'm okay with it.
Let's go.
Staley had this on his message to the team regarding injuries. Staley said, what I told the team this morning is that after watching the film and having more time to reflect, it's the exact same message that I had to him in the locker room, which was the level of toughness, the level of physicality, the level of discipline that we played with was the standard that we expect in a game like that against a quality team. That's where the message was. The group that was out there in that game last night played to the standard of the LA Chargers. The reason why we didn't win the game, there was some executional type of things in the game that prevented us from ultimately finishing that football game. But regardless of the circumstance, we're going to be a connected team and a tough and rugged team that is going to try and figure it out. So I think...
What else are you going to do, you know?
Well, I think that's one of the interesting things in reading this quote. A lot of people still saying, you know, Chargers, what's the identity? What are they all about? And I think that's just what it is. It's being tough and rugged. It's being in these games, and no matter how many injured players we have, we're fighting until the bitter end. There's no that we're not falling down or giving up.
I think the identity of the defense of our offensive identity is unknown, and I think it's just due to the continual change. Like there's too much difference in week to week to game plan. Can't have the same game plan with Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, Gerald Everett, and Josh Palmer as you do with Josh Palmer year one, DeAndre Carter, Michael Bandy. You know, like the game plan cannot with Foster Sarrell at right tackle and Jamari Sawyer at left tackle, and like your identity, they still haven't found it. I truly believe that they don't know what their offensive identity is still. So I would agree with some of that, some of the criticism that's come out. I think defensively we have an identity where very much bend, don't break, allow them to run the ball, but we're going to punish you once you get through and try to force turnovers. But offensively, I do think we're still struggling to find an identity.
Yeah.
Hopefully that identity comes when we get some of our Pro Bowlers back.
Right. 100%.
Yeah. And then Staley on the performance of Foster Sarrell and Braden Fehoko last night. Staley said Foster Sarrell was solid for his first start playing against Nick Bosa, playing that type of defense. I thought that Foster held his own, which is what you would hope in that type of performance. His first real NFL game to start against that type of team, I thought that he held his own. I thought that Braden held his own. I thought that he was a real factor in the run game. We finished the game with 3 D linemen, and they basically played every play in the fourth quarter. He laid it on the line like he always does. He played rugged and tough, made some plays for us, and he was really steady for us. Really proud of both those guys in how they played.
To think that those big guys in the middle did not come off the field for the entire fourth quarter, where they were on the field for most of the fourth quarter.
It's not like that was
crazy.
10 plays. They were they were on the field the entire time.
It's like 3 and outs there at all.
Yeah. Watching how the line was set up, you know, during when the offense was out there. I mean, you had basically guys chipping on both sides to help Sawyer and Sarrell out. So, you know, I think that obviously helped him out tremendously getting into this and, you know, helping him against Nick Bosa. But yeah, good to see the coach recognizing the guys stepping up and playing as well as they did and playing as tough as they did. Well, if you want to recognize something else, you can recognize our Patreon account. So if you want to check out our Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/ChargerChat. We've officially kicked off our Patreon with some fun new content, and we've gotten a lot of new Patreon members. I want to shout these people out. Jesse Trejo, Tony Fett, Kelly Tomlinson, Isaiah J., Francisco Flores, and Kellen Smith. Heavy week. A lot of new names. I love to see that. Thank you guys so much for joining Patreon. And for those that signed up, they saw a new spin on Coach's Corner exclusive to our Patreon, and we got a tiny little clip here that we think you guys would like to see. So let's give them a taste. What's over at our Patreon?
Boosh.
Chef's kiss.
So
So stop it.
Yes. So the ball is hiked and immediately placed
And nobody
down.
sees. Nobody sees. He sticks it behind the guard's leg. Nobody sees that little part of the play
Deucer.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he basically purposefully fumbles the ball. This is all legal play. The only thing it requires is that the defensive line doesn't go upfield whatsoever. Because if he gets pushed back, obviously it's
Done. The movie stops.
yeah, game's over. You lost. Also, very ballsy call at your own 2-yard line to purposely fumble when you're tied and they can just pick it up. This is
Is that how
Brandon
far back
Staley
they are?
tour.
Their own 2-yard line?
Yeah, they're on their own
putting the
goal
ball
line.
on the ground?
They're going for it,
Purposely
man.
fumbling.
This is very Staley-esque.
So there you go. You could go to patreon.com and check out Coach
The
Breakdown
Annexation of Puerto
movies,
Rico.
folks. Yes.
Yeah.
Not limited to The Little Giants. So we're having a lot of fun over there. So if you want, go on over patreon.com/ChargerChat. And if you don't want to go to patreon.com, that's A-OK. You can always go to our website, chargerchat.com. Check out all the cool stuff we've got over there, t-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. You can chat it up with other Charger Chatteteers in our member section and ask questions and Ask Boltfam. So go check it out, chargerchat.com. All right, gang, it's time to go on to the next segment. We saw them last week on their very first debut. It's time to see what they do with their sophomore episode. It's time for Brisket A'broads.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Well, there's no place they wouldn't try to hang out with Justin and his squad. Get ready to hear their positive thoughts. It's time for Brisket Abroad.
Hey, everybody.
Howdy do.
Hey, Kevin and Kyle and Adam.
Hey, Mom and Dad.
We wanted to demonstrate our hats for you all so you get the proper feel of the game. Oh, now our offense is on the field because our defense did a great job. Pretty cool, huh? We wanted to start off by saying we were never supposed to win that game in the first place, okay?
Yeah.
So let's just keep it in perspective.
We would have really made a lot of football analysts mad.
Yeah, we would have made them look like the idiots that they are.
Yeah.
Because we almost did win, so.
Yeah. We were winning almost the whole time. It was great.
If Justin Herbert's arm hadn't gotten hit at the end and made him throw that interception, that wouldn't have been an interception. It would have been a completion and then a touchdown.
Yeah, trust us, we were there.
Yeah.
That's what would have happened. We could tell.
Everybody around us, all the refs were like, oh my gosh, that would have been a completion and a touchdown. We didn't record any of them saying that, but.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We just wanted to start out by saying that, okay? So we went to Levi Stadium. That's where the 49ers game is.
Yeah.
But if you ever are going to go to an away game there, we recommend that you stay at a hotel nearby and then just walk, because you can do that. And then that way you don't have to pay for parking.
Yeah, and you don't get stuck in the parking lot after the game. Or have to leave early like a loser.
Absolutely. And there's a little walking path. Look it. We did more video stuff so that we could show you instead of just tell you. This is what the stadium looks like. What's your opinion of Levi Stadium?
It's a pretty nice stadium. One side of it looks so weird when you're walking up the bike path, so you're kind of coming from the back. It just looks like it's like gonna fall over. But that's the design. They thought, wouldn't it just be cool if it looked like it was about to cave in?
My mom says it looks like a tugboat.
It totally does. I'm with her on this
You'll
one.
have to decide for yourselves. So then on the way looking for the tailgate, who did we run into?
Two of the best people in the whole friggin' world.
This is Jen and Hannah, in case you didn't figure that out on your own.
In case you couldn't tell from the back of their heads.
So the tailgate was great. We brought mandarins. I think they were a huge hit.
It's hard to know.
I don't even know if I saw anyone else.
It might have just been us. Probably the poor people that set up that booth. You're gonna be like, who left this bag of mandarins here?
Oh my gosh. They're gonna love it when they eat it later.
They're so good.
Then we went into the stadium. We went early. They had different little activities set up that you could do. So my dad and I raced. And then Kyle, you wanted us to try stadium food.
Can't believe you.
So just a little context for you. We usually don't eat the stadium food.
Yeah, because stadium food's gross and so expensive.
We're kind of food snobs. Okay, so we did try quite a few things, actually.
We thought we would first off go for the weirdest one. So we got a crab sandwich.
It's like tuna. Did we like it? You just saw that we didn't.
It's as good as it sounds.
We also got nachos.
Why didn't they melt the cheese?
The three?
Better than the crab
Polish sausage would be a...
Look we didn't really like that either. I got chicken fingers later because I didn't really eat the other two things because they were gross, and so then I was hungry. I got chicken fingers and garlic fries, and they actually were pretty good. I didn't really get much footage of me with it, except here's me with my chicken finger yelling that there's Jerry Rice.
What you eat? How do you like your chicken tenders? They're not bad. They're hot.
My mom thought Jerry Rice was Snoop Dogg when she saw him on TV. I know because my sister texted me.
And then Mary had cotton candy.
Continue tonight's salute to how's the cotton candy? By welcoming the mobility really good.
During warm-up time, we saw a lot of interesting things. Mary took a video of one of the 49ers players really going crazy stretching.
Yeah.
Look at him.
It looked really dangerous.
We saw a Charger fan walking barefoot around the field. But he had a hood on, so we couldn't really tell who he was.
Didn't get a look at his face.
We saw Morgan Fox. Mm-hmm. Roll it. We also saw Nick Bosa. And at the end of the game, we were near the tunnel that the 49ers go into. And so at the end of the game, you know, they're all walking in and all the people around are so excited and the players are excited. And we were just standing there with our charge sign because we're in the middle of all these 49ers fans. And then Nick Bosa was doing an interview after the game, so he was like one of the last ones to walk. And then we're just like holding the charge sign. And then like, it was like that perfect like Red Sea gap where it's like Nick Bosa, and then I'm just like looking, and I felt like, you know, where you feel like you're making eye contact? Probably weren't, but it was like he sees this charge sign and we're making eye contact, and it's like this, he wants to be a Charger. It was like a moth to the flame. He was walking to the charge sign like he's like, ugh, I have to like pretend like I like all of these 49ers fans, but I want to be a Charger with my brother.
Yeah, I don't want to be a Santa Clara 49er.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these losers. We barely won because we're on the team of losers. That's just what he said.
Yeah.
What did you think of the 49ers fans?
I really liked the 49ers fans. A couple of them weren't great, but most of them, like it was fun. There was like a little bit of trash talking, but like it was all good natured. Like they love their team and want them to win. We love our team and want them to win. And our section was so great because everyone wanted to stand the whole time. Like whatever side you were on, you were invested in that game, and that's what we like.
Yeah. That's all of the things I have written down. Oh, and when we left the stadium, this is the first time I encountered this. There was a lot of barf on the ground.
So much barf.
Yeah, that was new.
Ugh.
I haven't had to avoid barf to that extent in a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe never. I think that's pretty much it. Was there anything else you wanted to share?
No.
Thanks for tuning in to Brisket A'broads.
We'll see you in Arizona.
Brisket.
A'broads.
Well, ladies, we had to take a minute to wipe away the tears of laughter. Kevin's still wiping them away.
Just the furious stretching.
It's dangerous.
Every cutaway, every insert of a facial expression. That was so good.
This is only week 2. It's only going to get better.
If you guys are listening to this, I've never gone to our YouTube channel.
You have to.
I don't even want this for us. I don't want this for our page views. I want you to experience what that just was. Because that is a visual just
so
feast.
Everything about
Says the cinematographer. He was thoroughly impressed.
The editing, it had it all.
It was everything.
It had it all. And also, girls, I get it. Stadium food's expensive.
Yeah, Kyle, way to make them spend a whole bunch of money on stadium food.
Honestly, you don't have to go crab sandwich. That's disgusting.
Crab sandwich. I would have thrown a challenge flag right there and said, no, you don't
I'm
do
out.
this.
No.
Yeah.
I called an audible. That's probably what all the puke was on the way out. It was probably all the crab sandwiches.
I don't know. That's just kind of what people in San Francisco do. They poop on the ground, and it's just all over.
Crab sandwich, a local delicacy. Oh God, ladies!
It's just her running with her dad just before the game. So awesome, and the tangerines.
There's so much, ladies. Thank you so much.
Can't wait for our next away game.
I mean, yeah, I can't wait either. That was so freaking good. That was so funny. All right. Well, I don't know who's following this up, but it looks like it's time for the next segment. It's Bolt Insight. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see who we've got.
Acting as if he doesn't know what it is.
I know who it is. I'm about to say. If you have seen Bolt My Ride, get ready because we're talking to the Bolt Zaddy himself.
Ooh.
As soon as that clock starts, your ass is mine.
When I met Justin Herbert, man, that dude is big as hell. The goal is to just keep it rolling.
Come in hype because we have a lot of things to be excited about.
All right, guys, we're back with another Bolt Insight, and we are super lucky today. You've probably seen him on YouTube very recently. We have Mike Eddy from San Diego, who was the featured man of Bolt My Ride. Wow, I'm so pumped to have you, Mike. How's it going, brother?
Sir. I'm doing fantastic, man. How are you this evening?
Doing good. Feeling better. Everything's feeling better after that game, but it's we'll get there. We'll get into that.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Before we get started, we always want to ask whoever we're talking to, how did you become a Charger fan?
Well, aside from being originally from San Diego, born and raised, pretty much. I honestly, it took what maybe I was like 6 or 7 years old. Just as a kid, it was Greek mythology that really got me on that. So I was like obsessed with Zeus, and I loved lightning bolts. And coincidentally, we had a team called the San Diego Chargers. And I fell in love with obviously the 1994 team. I was about maybe 8-9 years old around that time when the Chargers went to the Super Bowl, January 29th, 1995. I will never forget that day because I remember the looks on my parents' faces when we got stomped out. And calling it what it is, I'm like, wow. And from that point on, like I fell in love only because it's for a team to still for the city to still rally behind the team after such a crazy loss. Not, and also at the same time, people said we weren't even supposed to be there. If it weren't for a batted pass, we weren't supposed to be there. But you know what? We got there. We did the best we could, and since from that day on, man, tailgates, random games with friends. It grew into an obsession, and obviously blue and gold is in my blood. You know what I'm saying? So That's what it is.
I love it. Same here, man. I remember vividly that playoff game where against the Steelers where we won, and my entire family running out, just running down the street yelling. Kyle was still in diapers. It was epic. It was awesome. So I'm with you on that. And then let's jump into it, man, because I want to know everything about this, because we watched the Bolt My Ride. What they did with your vehicle was insane. It's so rad. So like we saw that it started with you having to do a submission video. So like they didn't really show us the full extent of what that was. So what was the process of actually like getting them to pick you?
So it was like around like the mid July. I saw it at the very last minute. So when I submitted my video, I'm thinking, okay, I don't want anything. I don't, with everyone's goldfish mentality, I'm thinking just keep it short and sweet, down to a minute. Was that my phone? Yeah, it's my phone. Sorry. I'll keep it short and sweet. On top of that, just be honest. Like I'm like, yo, hey, this is my truck. I've had my Jeep Gladiator since 2021. And I love the color as soon as I got it. So I'm thinking in the video, let me just showcase the color, showcase my Charger, memorabilia, stickers, all that stuff around it. Because when I first got the truck, I'm like, man, I love the color. I'm a Padres fan. Sorry, y'all. I'm very sorry, y'all.
Don't apologize to me. I'm on the same page. Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Hey, it's all good. Hey, it's love.
Yeah.
Either way. But I love the color of the truck, and honestly, the things I wanted to do to it, I just couldn't imagine me doing the submission tape would turn this Gladiator into a motherfucking monster, yo. It's crazy, dog. It's so dope. So yeah, I lost track. What the hell am I supposed to say?
No, that's exactly it. That's exactly what I was hoping to hear. And then it was crazy because like at the big reveal where they came up to your house and knocked on the door, and it was like he's standing there. Shawne Merriman's at your front doorstep. Like, what was that like?
So just like I'm talking to you right now here on this Zoom interview, right? I'm on the Zoom call with Charger social media, and this was maybe like the third Zoom call that we had. So the entire process went, obviously after I submitted my video in TikTok style, I had my song in the background. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe that'll help push it a little bit, because I just redid the San Diego Superchargers song and put LA and Dago together. I'm like, all right, cool, let me try this. So they hit me up via email, I'd say maybe a week or a week and a half after the submission date. They told me, hey, you're a top 10 finalist. I said, oh shit. All right, cool. And all right, cool. So then what's next? They pretty much told me in the email to find a date in which I can interview with social media. They set me a date. I spoke with two ladies at Charger social media, Carly and Paige, much love, man, for Charger social media. Anyway, they were asking me mad questions, and I told them the same thing I was telling you. I'm from Dago, born and raised, now living in LA just like the Chargers. Just trying to, let people know that, hey, we here now. This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like people from my hometown, look, man, I be having these conversations with them all day. Some have even jumped ship, but it's like, if you can be a Los Angeles Lakers fan, in my opinion, you can be a Los Angeles Chargers fan living in San Diego. I'm just saying, dog, it's business.
Yeah.
It's business. So, after that, I was just giving my fandom to them. And so after that Zoom call, they hit me up again in about a week from that point, saying, you're a top 5 finalist. We'll hit you back up in a week from that. Then you're a top 3 finalist. Now you're a top 2 finalist. I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Oh my God.
What's going on, fam? You tripped me out, fam. So they told me to jump on at a time that was convenient for me. So I gave them another time. And so I was speaking with I was speaking with Carly at this point. And as I was on the Zoom call, Shawne and Ryan from West Coast Customs, pull up to the driveway, and I'm on a Zoom call, right? My wife's in the background, you know what I'm saying? Handling her own business, you know what I'm saying? She hears a knock at the door, and it's Shawne's big ass knock, you know what I'm saying?
No, not a normal knock.
Like a police knock. Bang, bang. And, wifey answers the door, and you see from the footage, she goes, "Oh, shit. Oh, oh man, the rest is history from there." So she runs upstairs. I'm on the Zoom call with Carly. My wife she runs upstairs right behind me, and she goes, "Yo, there's some men at the door downstairs." I'm like, "What the f are you talking about? What men downstairs? What you mean?" And I got on my defensive, and I said, "Hold on." I'll be right back. Because we done had a whole lot of shit happen, right? You know what I'm saying? So much has happened in the family and over the last year. It's been crazy. Yeah. So I was like, okay, so it's good. I ran downstairs. And I'm looking at the cameras, and I see Shawne's big old arms and chest, and I'm like, "Oh my god, dog!" I ran outside. You saw me. I said, "What the f-?" Yeah, and I tripped out. It was crazy, man. So from that point on, I felt like I was on cloud 9. I was floating, man. A lot of things weren't making sense at that particular point. I was just very, very happy to see the homeboy Shawne, and I was able to do my lights out dance without breaking my ankles. You know what I'm saying? So
you did it well. That was a legit one. Fans try that all the time, and it doesn't always look as good as you made it look. So good work,
man. Thank you, dog. It was it was so hype, especially after Seau left, man. To see that, to see 5'5" to 5'6", I'm like, all right, man, he bringing some fire to this. I love this. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what Seau did, man. And I'm glad that that influence was there, you know what I'm saying, with Shawne and how he's, now he's bigger than an athlete, you know what I'm saying? He's doing his thing, man. So congrats to him.
That's awesome. I love that he's still a part of the Chargers organization too.
Oh, yeah.
It's just rad. So, and then I want to know, so they don't really show kind of like the design process for the car is like, they put it up on the monitor, like, let's just fucking throw this on there and we'll do this and all this crazy shit on there and made it look amazing. But like, I wanted to know, like, were you like, here's like kind of the stipulations or the things that I want to see? Like, how much of their input do they take when they're putting it together?
So I mean, for what I wanted, they hit that thing to the T, man. It was everything I could have imagined just out of this build. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know what to expect. At the same time, they said they weren't throwing in no fireplaces or fish tanks. So I'm like, all right, cool, we good.
It would be good.
But I mean, on top of that, like I did say I wanted some bolts on my hood. That was the thing I wanted. Because I'm like, how you see the Jeep Wrangler, Rubicon, all the dope logos on the side of the hoods. I wanted something that was going to speak. You can't get this from anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't my plans originally. So I told them, okay, I want bolts. I want I still want my original paint. So obviously, as you see, it's wrapped in blue and yellow, or blue and gold. I should say sunshine gold.
Yeah.
And what else? My engine is brand new. They didn't touch it. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, they kept everything literally with. They just beefed. They just put like it's kind of like the truck went to the gym. You know what I'm saying? And he, you know what I mean? Like he came back talking about, man, I'm new in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
just walking around all pumped up.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just they beefed it up. They enhanced it more than it was. They gave me dope sounds. Gave me a dope LED underbody kit, brand new custom calipers with bolts on them. I'm not sure if you guys checked that out, but cool. Next time you look at the video, look at the inside of the wheel, check out them caliper covers. They're bolted up too, all the way down to the socks for real. They gave me those custom rims. Man, them custom tire stickers with the dope tires. I'm like, come on, man, like. I'm losing track here. What I mean, I don't know. It's so wild, dog. It's so wild.
That's so cool. And the one thing that was really cool to tie together was the sound system they put in with them, like for how they were able to design it. It's like you were saying, it was like one of a kind custom. No one has this kind of thing.
Yes,
which is perfect for you because you're an artist.
Yes,
and we actually played your song. Months ago on our show, which that's still my vote for the new theme song. Love it. So what was it like getting that and then getting your music on the episode? Like that was awesome.
I mean, if anything, as a musician, I grew up. I grew up in the church. I've been singing, you know what I mean, since I was 6 years old. Been playing piano since I was 8. And my love for the Chargers, I just integrate with music because it's like, dog, you remember Captain QB and the Big Boys, dog, San Diego Superchargers.
Yep. Oh, slap of the bass.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
We had the funkiest dopes, the funkiest touchdown song, man. It was great. So I'm like, all right. I hear this track produced by Martavius, so shout out to Martavius on that track, through this app called Boise that's now defunct. And I just literally added my vocals to this track, you know, threw on some Charger gear and decided to redo that song. And I was just happy that they said, yo, this is great. But on top of that, I've been doing music since 2006, 2007 professionally. So you can just look me up anywhere. Just look up Mike Eddy anywhere. You can ask Siri. You can even Shazam a brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
awesome.
I'm on there, and I more than likely have something on that got bolts on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm also trying to push the brand because it's like, dog, there's way. I don't know. I feel like we I don't see too many musicians rocking bolts though. So. You know what I mean? Like I know we got some fans and some diehard bolt clubbers that are musicians. You know what I mean? Shout out to them too. On top of that, it's like, can we do something and make this thing happen, make this thing crack to where we can get like an all Chargers, you know, LA Superchargers, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I want something collaborative where you got dope artists that, you know, can come together and make this thing a theme song because we don't have one. We got Thunderstruck. I love it. No shouts to AC/DC. I love it. I love it. But we need something that's our own. So we need a captain. We need a Captain QB and the Big Boys. You feel me?
Let's go. Let's go.
We need something.
How about some Mike Eddy and the? I don't have anything. I fell apart. Lost some credibility with that.
No, me and my wife, we have this little funny band we call Yesterday's Pizza, and it's also my fantasy football name. So maybe Mike Eddy and Yesterday's Pizza. I don't know, bro.
I love it.
I don't know, something funny, just something that can, you know what I mean, something bumping, bro. Just something that can knock inside SoFi confidently. 100%. Hit through them speakers, man. Them speakers are nice too. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you know, your overall experience, like being on that, getting to have that done to your vehicle, like what's it like driving around town now in that thing?
Man, dog, let me tell you, every red light is interesting, only because it's either you get love, you get hate, or you get a, hey man, fuck the Chargers, man. But your car is sick, bro. I love it. I like the ones that say F the Chargers, but only because it's like, okay, well, you're hating. However, I just think it's funny.
Is transcending. It's bringing people together.
Yeah, it's bringing you together. You know what I'm saying? It's giving you something to look at while, you know what I mean? Because I mean, if it was, and to be honest, if it were in any other color, you know what I'm saying, I would do the same thing. I'd be like, man, the Raiders, but that's a dope Chevy Tahoe. You know, whatever you want to drive, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, cool little plastic spikes, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Cool little tinfoil and hefty bag jerseys y'all be got on.
Yeah.
Oh my. Anyway, I can go all day on the Raiders
all day.
So it's family trust respect all day.
Yeah, so it's a pastime over here. So let's get you out of here on this, man. You know, crazy game. We're hurt. You know, it's not gonna lie.
For real,
injuries, but we're playing. We're still, especially defense. We're stepping up. We're still what we did to the 49ers with what we had.
Right.
Awesome. Right.
Right.
What do you want to see happen for this upcoming another prime time against the Chiefs?
Let me tell you something, man. Last night threw me off, dog, because I still go back to January 29th, 1995. Steve Young's 49ers against Stan Humphries Bolts. Yeah. I still look at that thing all the time, bro. And so last night I'm like, yo, we got another primetime game, man. I'm hoping that the defense can step up, bro. Defense wins championships, bro. 100%, 120%. So next man up mentality, beef up, man up, strap up. Come on, man. Y'all trying to get to the playoffs. Y'all trying to get to the Super Bowl, man. Like Irby deserves it. He should have got it last. It should have been an all LA Super Bowl last year. Bengals shouldn't even be there, in my opinion, but I digress.
Yes.
all I know is come this game, at home against the Chiefs, man, with that tricky ass Mahomes.
Yep.
I'm hoping that we can at least get Dicker the kicker in there, man, to get this thing. Because the way defense is feeling to me right now, it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough.
Yeah.
IMO. For real. I'm hoping that we pull it out with a Dicker the kicker situation because I love that. I love it. Bro.
Yeah, I got the name.
He's hitting it, dog.
Giving.
He's hitting it. He's hitting these field goals, bro. That's
amount
crazy.
Of dick jokes I saw on Twitter last week was out of control.
Yo, it's so wild, man. Twitter be going off with that shit. Bro.
Too much fun.
It's too fun, man. But I'm hoping for a good outcome as usual. I want us to be realistically at the end of the season. I'm hoping we get at least a 12-5 situation. 12-5. Stay in this wild card play, man. Get Irby some of this playoff experience. At the same time, bro, you never know what type of momentum you can build. Just starting off with this Chiefs game, it's important. We got to knock them off. We got to let them know, hey, we're gonna see you in the playoffs, homeboy. We might just see you in the playoffs. So hit them in the mouth. It's Rocky versus Apollo, bro. Let's do this.
I love it. Awesome.
You know what I mean?
All right. Well, the very last thing, where can people go check out your song, your Charger song?
So you can actually find me on TikTok as the Bolt Zaddy. You can also find me on Twitter as Mike Eddie. So I've integrated Mike Eddie and the Bolt Zaddy. Also on Instagram too is Mike Eddie and the Bolt Zaddy. Both are linked to each other, so it's not hard to find me. But on just ask Siri, hey Siri, play Mike Eddie. And it's right there. So pretty much. and I'm there. So my Supercharger song can be found on everywhere streaming. It's a sound everywhere, Reels, TikTok, the whole joint, and streaming platforms everywhere. Hit me up. It's Mike Eddie. Yeah. Let's do it.
Well, I'm hoping to go to a tailgate with you and hear that coming out of your ride is what I want to hear. So let's set that up.
Hold on.
Do you want to listen to this on?
Shut up, Siri. I told you. So I thought I saw you at the first game.
We were there.
We did. Yeah, you passed by. And said what's up with one of the other homies. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, "Yo, good." You know, I love the podcast, man. And like I said, it's so dope to have a platform, have a medium where other fellow Charger fans can get here and talk shit and hope for the best. You know what I mean? Because if you've been a diehard fan this long, you can survive it. All these people sitting here being negative on Twitter, bro. Look, keep calling Bolt the motherfucker up. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
At the end of the day, you know what I mean? You're going to wear these bolts with pride. You're going to take them off, homeboy. What's good? You know what I mean? Take them off if you ain't repping. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, we are nuclear bomb. We can survive pretty much anything as a Charger fan. Our emotions, just everyone's all pissed right now. Just chill, bro. We still got some games. Let's go.
You gotta be tough skin on Mondays to be a Charger fan. You know what I mean? So like
we're still in it. We're still there.
Still got it. We still got it.
Come on, let's go.
Still got it. Still got it, boy.
All right. Mike, you're awesome, man. It was so awesome chatting with you here. Congrats on your vehicle and being on that show. I might actually go watch it when we're done here because that was just so much fun.
Thank you, bro. And if you happen to see me on the freeway, dog, or if you see me on the street, show some love. If you take a picture, just tag the Bolt Zaddy, hashtag the Bolt Zaddy, and so I can see where, you know, y'all be snapping at me from, you know what I'm saying?
Go.
So whatever it is, man, I hope to see you at another tailgate. I'm hoping to get to this Chiefs game. Mama Lisa, I owe you a watch party, and yeah, let's do this. Bolt the fuck up, baby. Let's do it.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for your time. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Take care, man.
Thanks, man.
Mike, I love the idea of getting interactions while you're in your Jeep at a stoplight. That is the question. It's like, I mean, everybody that was thinking about it was like, yeah, but I mean, people are going to be interacting. They're going to be like either saying the Chargers, I don't want any of that business. But
yeah, I
love that you're getting people that are throwing out the hate, but still going, but I love that car, man. Like that's the way to do it. And yeah, dude, that's so fun, dude. You got such great energy, man. I loved everything you had to say.
Yeah, it was just a cool story too. How it happens. It sounds like the social media team plays some tricks.
Oh, they're very sneaky.
Tricksters.
Obviously, we saw it with Rike when he was sitting there sitting at a table and then Derwin James floating in the background. Like, they're good at blindsiding fans, and Mike is no exception.
I also like how there was a big scary knock at the door, and he made his girl go answer the door.
It's like I'm on a Zoom with the Chargers. I need your help.
There's a man at the door.
That's so awesome.
That is so
and go
funny,
check out
dude.
his music, his song.
Absolutely.
He's fantastic.
Yeah. Mike Eddy, Bolt Zaddy, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with Kev. That was really a lot of fun. Let's move on now to the next segment. It is Fan Focus. Let's see what fan is sitting next to Kevin this week.
All right, guys, we are back with another Fan Focus, and we are super lucky to have Connor from Alberta, Canada. What is going on, Connor?
Oh, not much, man. Just recovering from our last game, I guess.
I'm with you, man. You know, it's not as fun to do these after a loss, but I'm just excited to meet you. We can kind of get it out, therapy session, have fun a little bit. And the best thing about this is finding out how people became fans. So how did you become a Charger fan?
So being a football fan in Canada is a little weird. My brother and I, we both started playing football when we were in like the sixth or seventh grade, somewhere in there. And we had Madden. So, you know, we played a lot of Madden as kids, and then just going through the teams, I guess, you know, like playing each other. And one day I picked the Chargers, and I think like one of the first few plays I was playing with my brother, and I picked a run play, and LT was the running back at that point. And I watched this guy run even on a video game, and I was like, holy shit, like, yeah. I like this guy. So it was, LT really stuck it for me. And then, you know, like the more you play, you know, the game, you figure out who the players are. And yeah, it was really Madden that did it more than anything.
That's it's so funny because so many people have told us that. And that's so cool that a game you can just like, because what do you do on games? You usually go find the best color team or whatever, and you like try them out, you know, because you can play everyone.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing too. And like, you know, I was a kid, probably like 9-10 years old, and you're going through and it's like, oh, these guys have a lightning bolt. That's fucking sweet.
It's dope.
I'm gonna be these guys. And then LT, and it's like, okay, I like this team a lot.
I love it. So yeah, tell me, I want to know a little bit more about like the Canadian football. Like, why didn't you go Canadian Football League over NFL? Because you have an Alberta team, right?
CFL and NFL, they're not too different as far as like the structure of the game goes. So like CFL, bigger field, more guys. So it's 110 yards as opposed to 100. You have 12 guys per side as opposed to 11. The ball's a little bit bigger. That was one thing that kind of bothered me is the ball's like
weird.
Super fat. It's fat, so it's kind of awkward. So like where I'm from, I'm just outside of Edmonton in Alberta. So like we have two teams, one in Edmonton, one in Calgary, which is just a couple hours south of where we are. And like, you know, you go to the games and you learn the CFL and everything, but the quality of the play is just not there.
That's the level.
Unfortunately, you know, as a Canadian, I like to be like, you know, I wish our league was better.
Yeah.
But it just isn't. It just isn't. And like, it's not a bad thing. It's just not there. You know, it's a small league. Guys don't get paid as much. You know, we're not going to get, you know, like these big talented guys. Oh, I want to go up to Canada. No, you don't. You don't.
Yeah, that's not.
You know, like,
got it.
You know, I feel like people, because we had Warren Moon. Warren Moon came up and played in Edmonton, and that's kind of where he made his name before he went to like Houston and all those other teams that he had success with. And everyone's like, oh, we had Warren Moon and like Doug Flutie and like all these guys. It's like, yeah, but compared to who we could have had, no, like definitely not. So yeah, and then, you know, once you get into Madden as a kid and you're like, okay, I'm playing with these guys on TV, I want to actually watch them now.
Yeah.
So like my dad, you know, like he kind of did I don't want to say the stereotypical dad thing, but he was like, okay, we're Canadian, I'll pick the closest team to us geographically.
Yeah.
So he became a Seahawks fan. And then my brother, he's a big defensive minded guy. So he fell in love with Brian Dawkins at the time. So my brother's an Eagles fan. My dad's a Seahawks fan. I'm like, well, I don't like either of those teams.
Yeah, like, why don't you got a bunch of birds in your family. You got to get some, you know, strike them out of the sky, if you will.
Well, exactly. So like I played receiver, and like I was always the fastest kid on my team. I'm like, hey, who's speedy? LT's speedy. All right, let's go with the Charger. I love these guys. So
I'm curious, like, what is it like being a Charger fan up in your area? Like, are there any other fans up there? Have you recruited anyone? Like, how do you like watching games? What do you do?
So being a Canadian Chargers fan is weird. So there's not many of us. I know like a couple other people just by chance. It's like, oh, hey, I like your hat. Hey, I like your hat too. We're Chargers fans. That's cool. I find with Canada, everyone likes what I call the dad teams. So like the Patriots, the Steelers, the Packers, all the teams that were good
teams,
decades ago. So, it's weird to be a Chargers fan because like people meet you and they're like, "Oh, what team do you like?" They're like, "Oh, I like the Packers and the Bucks because Tom Brady, all that shit."
Yeah,
and it's like, yeah, but I like the Chargers, and it's like, why the do you like the Chargers?
Yeah,
you're like, okay, well, LT, Gates, and all those guys, and they're like, yeah, okay, all right. So like, I feel like the Chargers haven't quite earned that respect up here yet.
Yeah,
but
not quite a dad team.
No, they're not a dad team yet.
Yeah.
Not quite. We got a couple of decades to go.
But that's something to aspire to become a dad team.
Right.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So awesome. Well, that's, thanks for holding it down up there, man. Keeping us wrapped up in the northern area. So yeah, dude, let's talk about the Niner game. First tale of two halves. Came out like, holy shit, where has this team been? And then it kind of fell apart. So like, just generally kind of like, what were some positives you took out of the game? And then what is something you think needs to be fixed immediately for this upcoming game against the Chiefs?
I mean, the first thing I noticed was that Justin's looking a hell of a lot better.
Absolutely. Some crazy throws.
Yeah, he's looking like himself. He had some big runs. He's looking good in the pocket. I guess second will be our defense. Our defense, I felt, came out of nowhere, really.
Yeah.
Everyone was expecting, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel to light us up. And I feel like we came out immediately and just, hit him where it hurt. Khalil Mack, I think all season, I have found that he's, the guy. Improvement, definitely our offensive play calling. Like,
yeah,
especially in the second half, you're backed up. Well, let's run it. Let's, do these check down throws. Yeah, I think that was definitely the second half offensive was brutal. We didn't really adjust to what San Francisco was bringing. I feel like they went to the locker room, made adjustments while we just kind of sat in the locker room, twiddled our thumbs a bit.
Sure.
So I think that needs to definitely change for next week.
Yeah.
But I mean, hopefully with getting Keenan back maybe and Mike Williams, we can start to kind of let Justin, not to quote a Broncos fan or anything, but let's let Justin cook for once.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was tough too, like having, Sorrell have to step in and play, and they were helping him out all night in that second half. They were just doing all kinds of crazy shit on that side of the line. So he just it felt like that second half, he just didn't feel comfortable. Like Justin didn't have a lot of time. Like it was just weird. It's that thing where we want to get off to a good start. We did it this game, but we didn't do what we usually do and finish and, finish the game off. So, it was a bummer. It's definitely not something to be like, oh, we're screwed and let's pack it in. Like you saw what Coach did with some of these guys that are like practice squad players and how that defense still held up, So I think there's still promise there. And if this offense can do something consistently, that's what we need.
Right. I think if we can get those guys back and, get comfortable again, I think our offense should be okay in the long run.
Yeah.
I was hoping to get Bosa back for last night. That would have been great.
That Bosa, heads up Bosa game.
Bosa Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
People were calling it. Yeah, that would have.
Awesome. So let's get you out of here on this, brother. Like what, your best Charger memory, being a fan for as long as you have. What's your best Charger memory?
I mean, the first one, I kind of have two.
Yeah, do it.
First one, it's not really like a Charger memory per se, but my family, we went on like a vacation down to San Diego when I was like 10 or 11 years old, and my parents like, bring spending money to spend down there, and I bought my first Tomlinson jersey on that trip.
That's
and
awesome.
I wore it. It was the powder blue, and I wore it for like the whole freaking trip. I thought I was the bee's knees the whole time. But the second one, honestly, it was that first game Justin played. The whole
injury game.
Situation. We're playing the Chiefs of all teams. We're in SoFi. They're like, oh, they have Tyrod Taylor. What the are they going to do? And then Justin steps in and just kills it.
Yeah.
That was huge, I think.
That was like a new chapter. It was like a new chapter in Chargers history kind of like turning. It's like, here, all right, we're starting a new chapter. Let's go.
Right. Well, especially after Phillip Rivers left, everyone was like, okay, like, what are we going to do? And then all like, I guess the underestimating of Justin in the draft, they're like, can this guy be a leader? Can he compete at the level? And then he comes out of nowhere. Nobody's expecting him to play, and he just kills it.
Rookie of the year, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's amazing. It's, it's that thing we always talk about. It's like you have Justin, you have a chance. It really is the case. So I feel like, we see these Chiefs all the time. So why not get out there and go beat them with our third, fourth stringers? Like, let's do it. Like, we were so close against, I think, a higher powered offense in the 49ers. So I think we have a shot, man.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, get Khalil after Mahomes, and you should be okay.
We'll be good. So, all right, Connor, it was a pleasure having you on, man. Thank you so much for your time. It was great meeting you.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much.
All right, brother.
Well, Connor, I love to hear about Charger fans up in the Great White North, sir. That is, I love that. I love that a game brought you in. It's not always just uniforms; it's games, folks. Madden can even bring in some Charger fans. It's that we're in that generation now that video games can bring in some new fans.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, it was so awesome. I just love meeting new fans, especially Canadian fans or outside of the country, because it's such a different perspective, and there's so many other things and teams you could be following, but you found the Chargers, and damn glad you did.
Yeah, you didn't pick a dad team. I like that.
The dad teams.
Connor, thank you so much for coming and chatting with Kev. We really appreciate it. All right, gang, it's time to go on to Ask Boltfam. Here we go.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hi, guys. Don't jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do. I wet myself in excitement.
Also hungry.
Your thoughts are totally appreciated. Catch you later, dude.
Okay, love you, boy.
That's right, folks. It's time for Ask Boltfam. We start this one off with Michael Perez, who asked the question. This may not necessarily be a question, Wool Dog, and you don't need to read it on the podcast. It's merely just a venting moment. I so much love the shamelessly positive attitude on the Chargers chat. It's so refreshing to listen to you guys a couple times a week lift my spirits about the Chargers. I know we just came off a loss to the 49ers, but I'm finding myself becoming tired of listening to other podcasts just to hear these so-called NFL gods and experts talk about what's wrong with our team. I get it. I'm not a big fan of the Spanos family or the way they have run this team in the past, but what I saw on Sunday was a team trying to gut it out and survive through the month of November with what they've got. The coaching staff is trying to do what they can with the pieces we got left on the field. We lack the playmakers right now to make a difference when we need it the most. After watching this team for over 35 years, I've never been more excited than I have been right now to see ownership trying to spend money and bringing in quality players, a coaching staff with new approach, and an exciting way to look at the game, and franchise players with talent to make a run to the Super Bowl for years to come. We still have a winning record. We're still in this. We just get through to December, and hopefully we can see the team we are hoping to see from the very start, and maybe make a playoff run. Thanks for giving me a chance to vent. Bolt up, and let's get those Chiefs. Okay, love you, bye.
That's a golf clap.
That's a golf clap.
I'm with you, man.
Michael, thank you. That was, we appreciate the kind words more than anything. But yeah, it is different. We saw what we saw at the beginning of this season. Obviously, we're looking at a different team right now because of the injuries. We've got, the offense was practicing with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Jalen Guyton out there on the field. And these last couple of games, none of them have been out there. And
yeah, none. And we're talking like previous years. We're talking at this point in the season. We're talking about poorly managed time, not using our timeouts correctly.
Right.
We're talking about little things that our previous coaches that were doing that, like, we would be up in a tizzy about it. Like, we weren't always the most shamelessly positive in previous years just because of the kind of stuff we were used to seeing that were just bonehead things from our coaching staff. So
right.
It's nice I agree with you, like having a little perspective and going back a little further, it does feel different. And we just need to get it all clicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was weird on Sunday having the night game. I watched a lot of football during the day, and it was just like I had this like sense of like, I can't wait to see the Chargers playing, like I don't care what the score is. I don't care what the outcome is. I just want to see the Chargers playing football. And I had this kind of realization. It's like, you're not going to win every game. There's only been one undefeated team ever.
Yeah.
And they didn't go undefeated the next year. So you're not going to win every game. When I turn the Chargers on though, like when I turn the game on, I just want to see guys playing really hard and not making dumb bonehead mistakes, turning the ball over, just playing poorly. And we didn't see that on Sunday. Like I left the game like, oh, we could have won that game. But at the same time, like that was a fun game of football and our guys played hard until the very end. And that was a successful night of football and we'll go get them next week. That's really how I felt at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Whereas the Jaguars and the Seahawks, it was like, holy hell,
shit.
what are we? We are garbage. We're
Right.
never going to win another football game.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it felt like after those games.
Yeah, the blowout losses really obviously hit differently than the ones that you're close or the games that you're in. But yeah, it just felt like, all right, let's go on to next week. You can't win them all. You can't expect every game to go your way. And it's your true words, Michael, resonate with us. We really appreciate that.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you. Let's move it on now to Bolted All the Way Up.
That's certified fresh.
Yeah, who asked the question?
All the way.
So we've seen the Chargers' ability to push the ball down the field versus Atlanta and San Francisco with a healthy Herb. Why can we only do it for one drive a game? Does the other team adjust and we can't respond? Does Lombardi accidentally call some good plays, then go hide?
It's just,
I'm sure it's not just one thing.
I think
I'm sure it's a multitude of reasons.
Overall, it's hard to say because I feel like it's a little different each game. I felt like this game, we came out with a really great plan and caught them off guard. That's what the beginning of this game felt like. So you got to give Lombardi and the staff and what those guys were able to do in the beginning of the game some credit for that. They came out scripted, ready to go. After halftime, the 49ers made better adjustments than we did. That's just what it was. And they started going after the right side of our line. They started really going after a lot of stunts. There were 3 guys rushing on that side of the line, and he was never comfortable. There was never a moment where he was truly could stand in the pocket like he did in the beginning when he was making those crazy throws and getting Carter all the way down the field. So for this game, that's where it kind of fell apart. The defense was pretty steadfast through the whole game. It's just the offense. I don't know. I can't defend, the running up the middle and not getting any production out of it. I understand you got to keep them honest, but I was surprised that they kept going after these up the middle runs for no yards or negative yards. And I wish they'd have gotten a little more creative and found more effective ways to deal with the fact that he was under so much pressure.
I guess, what is the other options? You drop Justin back every snap and he's throwing 2-yard dump offs that everyone's upset about.
Yeah.
I feel like the running game. Yeah. And when it doesn't work, it's like, what the hell are you doing? Let Justin throw the ball. But when it does work and we are successful and it does pop for 4 or 5 yards, and that's all that they expect. When you call a running play, you're hoping for 5 yards. That's a great running play. They're not calling those thinking this is going to bust for a touchdown. We're down 1 million guys. We need to control the clock a little bit. We need to get some pressure off of Justin. He can't sit back there and throw 65 times a game. It's just like, you have 2 backup tackles. You cannot sit back there that long and expect for these guys not to eventually pin their ears back and come get it. So a lot of the calls that they did was out of safety and trying to protect our quarterback in the long run, and also not turn the ball over. Like you sit back there and against that defense, you give them time and enough opportunity, they're going to take the ball away. It was probably a little bit too conservative, but I just think our playbook was so limited with the pieces that we had that's what you saw. It just got vanilla and boring, and they put a shell over the top and they said, good luck running the ball against our light box. And we still couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. A lot of the times too, when you see us run and you get frustrated, count up the box, count how many defenders they have in the box. If there's only 5 or 6 guys in the box, they're daring us to run. right? If they have 5 guys shelled over the top, so they'll have somebody on every wide receiver and they got 2 guys over the top, they're daring you to run. And if you still can't do it, you're in deep crap. Yeah. And that's a lot of the time what it is. Like they see light box, Justin's going to run. He's not going to check out of it. He's going to try to execute the run, which should work. Sometimes it's just they were better than us up front in a lot of ways.
Right. Yeah. All right. Bolted all the way up. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Kanyeezy1785, who asked the question.
I'm going to be as realistic as I can be without being a dick. I love you guys' podcast. Always have since day one. You guys may leave this one out. That's fine. But I just want to leave my opinion out there after a night's rest. All I hope is that you guys take the time to criticize this dude for the mess he made last night. I'm done with people excusing Lombardi with injuries. The team clearly showed they can execute a perfect drive with the players we have now. Why did the offense die after that first TD drive? Because Lombardi is not a good play caller. Staley's missing Joey Bosa, JC, Chris Rumph, Austin Johnson, Christian Covington, and Tito, yet his defense did their job and time again. Lombardi failed to back him up on the offensive side, even with 2 turnovers and a blocked punt, 0 points. This game was clear proof that Lombardi will not bring out the superstar in Herbert with this ridiculously short offense. And yes, I get it. The pass rush was hardcore, but a good OC finds a way mid-game to counter that, and he had 0 answers drive after drive. He turned our boy into a check-down machine. There's an infinite amount of stats to prove it. I'm done hearing people excuse Lombardi with injuries. If Staley could do his job, why couldn't Lombardi? Because good coaches adjust to what they have and make the best of it. This game was winnable, and very much so. I hope people are done defending this guy.
Ooh. we hear you, Kanyeezy. We hear you.
Yeah.
The hard thing is though, is like I see it a lot where it's like if you have a very strong feeling about something, and if somebody doesn't like get on board with that, you're like even more pissed off. Because I see your points. Like it was a very vanilla, confusing second half and wasn't very creative. There wasn't a lot going on. But there were so many opportunities in that game that we had, and I wouldn't say they're excuses. They are what they are. There were drops. There were mistakes. There was stuff that was on the field that it's not him. There was some stuff later in the game that was him. And I totally see your frustration. I just want to see before we're like, let's get rid of him now. It's not going to do any good for anyone. It's not going to help us right now if we just handed play calling over to somebody else or brought in somebody else. Let's wait till we get a couple of our guys back. Let's wait and see what this offense can look like when we do have our 1 and 2 wide receiver back. And then have a little bit more of a conversation about what it all looks like. Because everyone, I think it's the most universal thing I've seen is the Lombardi is everyone's pissed at Lombardi, like everyone. So I hear you. I'm not as full personally. I'm not as full there ready with you to like go end his Charger career, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think we're necessarily trying to defend Joe Lombardi necessarily. The big thing is that you can't put the whole blame on Lombardi. And we saw it in that last game. I was just looking it up. It's just we were talking about it. Chargers are tied for the second most dropped passes in the league right now. We've had 17 dropped passes. Obviously, that's you can argue it both ways. You can say, well, coach doesn't, the guy doesn't coach him to drop the passes, and so you can't blame the coach. But then you can also say, well, the coach is supposed to coach these guys to catch the passes and get them right. So it can go both ways. And again, we're not saying that you're wrong, and we're not trying to say Joe Lombardi is infallible without issue, but there are so many different things that are happening in any game that can contribute to what the result ends up being. And you can't put the entire blame on Joe Lombardi. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not on the fire Joe Lombardi bus yet. That's total. You're allowed to be as frustrated. I don't like seeing 0 points in the second half. That sucks.
No, yeah.
the check down though, it's just that. It's a check down. You know, like the play was not necessarily designed to go to the check down. That's the backup plan.
Right.
So when we get frustrated, that's my only hesitation with a lot of the criticism of Joe Lombardi, even within NFL analysts on ESPN, all over the place. It's Dan Orlovsky, whatever that moron still has a job, but it's this, we're wasting Justin Herbert by throwing underneath. Sometimes they're checking down because he doesn't see it open deep.
Right.
It's just not there for whatever reason. Maybe it's because we have DeAndre Carter and Michael Bandy running deep routes, but for whatever reason, that deep route is not there. So he's checking it down. That's the only thing that for me, as I'm watching the game, I'm justifying it is Lombardi called a play, Justin threw the ball. So if you don't, sometimes the frustration of checkdowns, you can put it on Justin Herbert if you want to, because he's the one deciding to check the ball, check it down. Like he's going through his reads. That's not there. That's not there. I'm going to check down. So I don't know. Like I hear you. 0 points in the second half in a game that we could have won. It's really frustrating, but I don't think you can place full blame on Joe Lombardi. Well, you can. I'm just not.
Yeah. When you've got, Foster Sorrell on one side and Jamari Salyer on the other, and they're both.
No, stop it, Adam. Stop
I'm just
using
saying,
injuries as an excuse.
I'm not saying that the injury
Adam?
is the excuse. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you have those guys
Stop
on the
giving
end.
him excuses.
I see the look in his eye. Adam's getting fired up.
No. I'm not getting fired up. I'm just saying when you've got those guys on the end.
Yeah.
If you watch the plays, it's not like every guy is running, 5 yards and turning around waiting for Justin Herbert to throw the ball. There's guys that are running all the way down the field, and Justin is looking, but he has to make those reads so much quicker because the ends are coming in. And so, like Kyle just said, like he's making his reads, but when he doesn't see anything, he's got to check it down, and he just has to make the reads that much quicker when the box is closing in on him, when his tackles aren't doing what they need to do, and you got Nick Bosa running at you, you got to scramble and you got to be able to make a confident throw. Like we know Justin Herbert can be accurate, but he's not just going to fling it and, put it up to Jesus and say, please God, let this land in, Josh Palmer's hands. If he's going to make a throw, he's going to make it as accurate as he possibly can. That's why, like, that's my point, is that like, he's not checking it down, and I'm just trying to add to Kyle's point, is because he has less time to do it. And we saw that with Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers had to check it down because his offensive line wasn't doing him any favors. And so, it's frustrating to see. Yeah, for years. But we know Phillip Rivers can throw the deep ball, but we just couldn't see that because the line wasn't doing him any favors. And if anything, it worked better with Phil. He was getting a lot more yards that way.
Well, when you look at the last play, that interception, like we were in a position where we had to do what everyone wants to see. You sit everybody down. There's no check down. We got to get that yardage, and look what happens. You know what I mean? Like there is a good and a bad side to all of these decision making and where you put the ball, and the fact that he hasn't turned the ball over. He's turned it over a bit this year, but not at crazy levels because he's having to be more conservative with that.
Right.
So. And it's hard to say, man. It's a weird spot with this offense, and it's frustrating for fans because last year it was like, oh shit, look at this offense. It was like back, like they even took photos this year with Keenan, Mike, and Justin with the bombs away bomber jackets on. Everyone was expecting this offense to be the reason why we were so freaking good. If you go look at that photo, though, there's two guys in that photo that aren't on playing in this game.
Right.
So it's not an excuse. It is just a fact. Our best wide receivers weren't on the roster Sunday night, weren't playing, weren't suited up.
Yeah.
It's not an excuse. It is just a fact for me. So I'm not trying to let them off the hook with that, but it's just, I'll be the first to say, if we can get Mike and Keenan back and we still look like this, we need to have a talk. We should have a talk.
Sure.
The only thing that's kind of keeping me from being like, dagger in this thing is that we don't have the guys in there. Yeah. So let's get those two guys in. If we still suck it up, then hey, let's go.
Yeah,
let's talk.
We'll put a pin in it.
We'll put a pin in that.
All right. Kanye1785. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move on now to Keep Your Powder Blue, who asked the question.
Certified fresh. Maybe.
Just hug it up to
certified
Jesus.
Certified fresh, yes. Sorry, I panicked.
How would you feel about Pat White taking over play calls?
Well, I don't know who Pat White is, so
I think he's an assistant, right?
He's an assistant,
I'd have to
yeah.
look this up. I
He's
don't know.
Yeah, he's just an offensive assistant.
It's hard to
It's
go.
just-
our
we're
team?
grasping at straws here, guys.
for the Chargers, he's Pat. Okay,
Yeah, he's an offensive assistant. He was-
gotcha.
yeah, he's an ex-player, offensive assistant, first year with the team. Never
Any
called a
offensive
play.
coordinating?
Quarterbacks coach, running back coach, quarterbacks coach. That's it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, and people are seeing what happened with the Colts this last weekend, where they brought in the first-time play caller and they beat the Raiders. But I think anybody can
But
beat
it's the Raiders. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I said, like let's have this conversation, and I'll be the first to say I was wrong. If we get our guys back, and Lombardi's still
And
calling,
we're still struggling.
weird games that don't put us in the right position.
We were a top 5 offense last year, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know. I just
What are you thinking? What do you? what was your point with saying that we were a top 5 offense last?
Joe
year?
Lombardi was calling the plays with the top 5
gotcha.
offense when we had our guys. We
Right,
don't have
yeah.
your guys. You suck. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is not rocket science, guys. Like their players are better than our players. It's going to be really hard to win football games.
Right.
That's just bottom line.
Right.
And now if we have really great coaching, we could be in those games and win some, which I think we've done the last couple of weeks. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like coach hate. I was a coach, and so you can make everything the coach's fault. Every single thing can be the coach's fault.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it always is.
Right.
And I
Keep
don't
your
think the
powder-
grass is always greener on the Pat White side of things.
Yeah. It'd be tough to hand the reins over to a guy that's never calling plays. So I don't know that we would be down with that. Keep your powder blue, but we appreciate the question. Thank you for asking it.
Maybe
Let's
we
move
go
it
to
on.
like the fan controlled. That way you guys get to see what it's like.
Oh, that'd be
You guys
interesting.
seen that? Fan controlled football where
Yeah,
there's like 3 plays. You have to vote on your phone which one you want, and then they run that. I would love to see that and get back at some salty people.
Well, isn't there a league that's doing that?
Yeah,
controlled
that's what I
football.
mean.
Yeah.
Fan
Austin
controlled football.
Eckler is
Yeah.
part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
It's
You
not a
want-
new idea. Kyle didn't come up with that out of.
Well, no,
no,
that's
that's
what I was
not
going to
off the top
say
of my
when he
head.
said I would love to see it. I was like, well, wait a minute, don't we already see it? Like,
No, the Chargers be the first ones to instill. Like we don't
Oh,
have an OC.
Jesus.
Our fans just call it play.
Just like
I mean,
if-
see how it goes.
0-16 team, and they're like, guys, you can do better. They just like hand you
Week
the playbook.
17, here we
We'll
go.
see you later.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to talk about wasting Justin Herbert's career, that's the that's the cherry on the
One-way
top
ticket.
of that. Yeah.
I think it
all
would be
right.
funny to see the coaches get so annoyed of all of the fans. They're like, "Fine, you guys do it.
Fine. You know what? We're done. All right.
I do that with my kids sometimes. Like, fine, do whatever you want. You're gonna
Just
you're gonna
do
jump
it. I
off
don't
the
care
house. Okay,
anymore.
just do it.
Yeah.
You don't like how I,
I
made
hope
the
you don't
sandwich?
die.
Well, here,
Yeah.
throw it in the trash. Hand him a knife. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bread's right
that's
there.
what's gonna.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen here pretty soon, guys.
Fucking luck.
We're gonna be in deep doo doo
Yeah.
because all of us football experts don't know crap about nothing.
Let's move it on to the next question. It's Salty
Sorry.
Sports Dude
Oh, it's been a minute. Hey,
who asked the
dude.
question. Oh, hey, boys. It's been a while. I haven't had much to say because it seems like every Charger fan is either complaining about coaching, blaming injuries on ancient curses, or having a pity party about how the team is performing. Hoo-ha. This team has faced adversity since week 1, and more often than not, they have responded. Let the media slobber all over the Chiefs, Dolphins, Bills, whoever is hot this week, because the bottom line is, if this team can get healthy and sneak into the playoffs, they are the most dangerous team in the NFL. Hoo-ha! After watching the way our injury-plagued team played and battled last night, I'm 100% confident that if we can get healthy, we can absolutely f***ing smoke any other AFC team. Hoo-ha.
This is
I love the
exactly
take.
exactly how I literally you took the words out of my brain.
Yeah, I didn't know how to
I
put
felt
into
after
words
that
how I
game.
felt, but that
I
was
couldn't
it.
articulate my feelings, and you did it for me.
I
Thank
could
you,
not.
Salty Sports, dude.
Words.
Paper. Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
Yeah, it's since week 1. We have had problems. We lost Keenan Allen in week 1.
And 2 players every week since.
Yeah, it's been
Even
we've
the
been
bye week.
sacrificing 2 players just about
Even the
every
bye
other
week.
week.
Yeah, bye week.
Yeah,
guys are
even the
going
bye
there.
week.
Thanks, Tillery.
So, it's fine. Whatever the media wants to look
It's
at and
fine.
support, fine. The
Good.
Chargers have been in this situation before. We've been
We're
underdogs
fine.
before. We're fine.
We're used to not being talked about, guys. That's why we have this podcast, so we can
Right.
talk
Yeah,
about it
we're
ourselves.
fine.
We're fine.
We're fine. Everything's fine.
Fine. Everything's fine.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Fine.
Okay.
How are you?
All right. Yeah. We're right with you there, Salty Sports dude. Thank you for
I just love how you said-
articulating.
I love how you said smoke in that voice. That was so good. It hit it so hard.
All right. Let's move it on now to the next question. Peaky Bolts.
Can we just shout him out real quick?
Shout it.
Because we talked about a pizza place behind our high school last
I know.
week, and he made a graphic, and it really made me happy. Like I appreciate you so much for doing that, and all the Yeti or not graphics you make. Very, very.
They're
nice.
fun. They're super
Very
fun.
nice. Keep it
and
up.
I love all the fruit baskets he gave to Cassiano.
So good.
All right. Peaky Bolts has a question. Goes something like this.
Another heartbreak, yet I remain a diehard. Another dropped walk-in TD, yet I remain a diehard. Even after they failed to convert just one of the 3 field goals into TDs, which probably wins us the game, I remain a diehard. Calls to fire the entire coaching staff, yet I remain a diehard. More and more and more and more injuries, yet I remain a diehard. I simply ask the question, who else will remain a diehard until the bitter end? Stay peaky by order of the Peaky Bolts. You see, the problem, right, with you Peaky Bolt fans, right, is you always get sucked into believing, right, which is a problem, isn't it? Life is so much easier to deal with when you're dead and you had no chance of making the playoffs. Or can you?
All right.
Have you seen Peaky Blinders?
I've seen the first 2 seasons.
New season's coming out. I'm so excited. It's so
I
good.
am not caught up on Peaky
So good.
Blinders, but I remember what I have seen. I have enjoyed. Yeah.
Die Hard, baby.
Till the bitter end,
Die
baby.
hard
Till the
till the
wheels
end.
fall off. There's
Oh.
no other team to root for. It's
We've been
the
here
Chargers.
this long. We've been here this long. I'm not going to get like grumpy and pissy about being over 500. I know people are like, "Oh, you're so stupid for saying that." Like, no,
You're stupid.
I've followed this team a long time, and I'm not saying I'm better than you because I followed them longer. I know how I felt other seasons where I didn't want to get up on Monday morning because my team sucked so bad. I didn't want to get out of bed. I get out of
I
bed
know
every
that
morning
500.
'cause I feel good.
500 is what I've dreamed of some seasons. Just getting to 500.
Just the 500. And I know the expectations coming into the season were
we're
going to I even said we're going to go undefeated. That's how I feel every year.
Every year.
The reality is, wasn't the case.
No.
But it's not over.
But imagine how amazing it would be if he actually said that and it actually happened.
One of these years, it
Because
will
nobody
happen.
else
I'm going to
believed
say
you.
it every year.
It's going to
Exactly.
happen.
One year it'll
That's
happen.
the
It's not
idea. That's
guaranteed.
It's
the
going to
whole
happen
point
for
of
one
it.
team again.
Exactly.
It's been
Maybe.
44 years.
It's been about sometimes
1980.
right.
What I tell you.
Sometimes 500's better.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's
We're with
there would have to be something. I don't know what could possibly happen to make us change teams.
No.
Like what
They already
what
left
in-
our city. I don't know.
I was
like,
going to say they
nothing could
already
happen.
left
If they
San
just
Diego.
stopped existing as a team,
I guess. Yeah.
If they
That's the only
changed
way.
like the name and everything,
Yeah.
that'd still be my team because those are my players.
I don't know. But
It's
players
what-
leave all the time.
Hmm.
I think if they were no longer the Chargers, that would be tough.
Maybe I don't want to get out of bed tomorrow morning after that comment, Kyle.
Peaky Bolts, thank you for
Didn't
asking the
happen.
question. Let's move it on now to OM Run. Who
Yes.
asked the question?
How did I just find out about Derek Carr crying yesterday? Please discuss. That's bigger than the Tillery news.
Oh, yes.
Pretty fun.
I remember when I was watching the game with Kev, I saw it on Twitter and I'm holding the phone up to my ear, like we're watching the game and I'm listening to Derek Carr cry and I'm like,
How would you feel as a Raider fan watching your quarterback cry about losing?
I mean,
that's why he's crying. He's crying because they're losing.
Right.
He's crying
the
about
record's
losing.
2-7 and your quarterback's crying. I mean,
that doesn't exude confidence.
Yeah,
at all.
the leader of the team, one of the team captains, is crying right now. You've made him cry.
The one thing that, I could see how, Raiders could cope with that, fans, is they could cope with that, is they're so delusional anyways. That's how I could see them being like, he's just got a lot of heart.
Yeah.
It's just
when everyone else says, look at that pussy. That's what everyone else sees.
Right. Yeah. Kind of cracking under pressure is what it looks like from the outside. But
yeah. It's gonna be fun. When we play them next, they have Tillery and a crying quarterback. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's 3 weeks.
Coming up here pretty quick. Yeah. In just a few
after
weeks.
Arizona.
We'll be seeing them. So
sweet.
Yeah, we'll make them cry again. OM Run. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move on now to Boltville 714.
Let's go.
Who asked the question? You know what, Vatos? I'm fucking proud of our team for showing up and competing. I got the opportunity to attend the game and get thunder fucked at the tailgate with the diehard Bolt Club gang. Shout out to the homie Pat. He's a sexy ass party animal. Anyways, fools, even though I was drunk as shit and freezing my werewolves off in the nosebleeds, it appeared, in fact, that Justin fucking Herbert is back at 100%. Some of those throws he was making looks like thunderbolts being tossed by Zeus himself. My question is, if we would have had our roster completely healthy, do you guys have any doubt in your mind we would have won that game? Keenan wouldn't have dropped passes like McKitty, and if Herbert would not have gone to the tent, I'm pretty sure we would have scored a TD, but instead Chase had to go out there to ruin the drive. As always, fuck the Raiders and their bitch-ass crybaby of a QB and their newly acquired speed bump Tillery. Can't love you, bye.
Speed bump. That's the worst nickname for a defensive lineman.
Speed bump. Jerry Speed Bump Tillery. Holy shit.
Oh, that's really good.
I'm glad to hear you got thunder fucked. That sounds awesome.
That's how you know you've had a good time.
It looked like they had like a legit little this. I saw somebody posting. It was like a mini Thunder Alley there. Like we're showing up.
Remember
to
the one
these
in
away
Kansas
games.
City?
Yeah,
our little mini Thunder Alley was sick in Kansas City too. But give me one piece. Just give me one player that we were missing, and I think we win that game.
Yeah,
if it's just
a different game entirely.
Just Mike, or just Joey,
or just Rashawn,
one
or
of those
just
guys.
Yeah.
Do I say Trey Pipkins? A healthy Trey Pipkins?
Maybe.
I think that could have been just.
That's a thin line. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm not as confident as some of the other names that Kyle threw out there.
Yeah. Kevin Duggan just put so much on Trey Pipkins.
Yeah, wow.
Your 6 month ago self would have been
what is
just bashing your face in right now.
Ouch.
You've changed.
You've changed.
I don't even know who you are anymore, man.
I don't even know who you
what
are,
to do
man.
with you.
You've changed.
But yeah, I think one of the, an extra time. One of the receivers, even like Jalen
Guyton, even honestly, Jalen Guyton would have been huge.
Or Everett playing the whole game.
Yeah,
maybe even that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah.
But just think about all of them. Think about if you have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Gerald Everett, Rashawn Slater,
different.
Joey Bosa, JC Jackson. Like if we have all of these guys, our roster was too good. It was too good.
It was too sweet. Boltville 714, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Macadalgo.
Certified Fresho.
Okay, who asked the question?
Good a guess as any.
Yeah, that's fresh.
One thing that I think is underappreciated with our coaching staff is our special teams coach, Ryan Big Swingin' Dickin' Fickin'. How about that pump block, huh? After all these years of struggling to find a kicker who we can rely on, here we are with a backup kicker hitting 47-yarders to keep us in these games. I think our special teams unit is actually an advantage we have over some teams now. If we had Fickin last year, we absolutely would have made the playoffs. Oh, I can't forget, Raiders. LOL. Love you, bye.
I completely agree with this.
Okay. I have a counterpoint. I'm not disagreeing. This is just I want to bring some perspective.
Easy, Kevin.
What if it's not Ryan Ficken, and what if the players are just better this year?
What?
What if every time a team does better, it's not just the coach, or if they do bad, it's just the coach?
I see where you're going with this.
It's like we criticize and just destroy Lombardi. Ryan Ficken, for all we know, is fingers up his butt doing nothing. Like, we don't know. Their kickers are kicking, and like Nick Neiman blocked the kick. Do we know it's because of some new binder that he has with special punt blocking strategy? No, we don't know that.
I'd like to
so
counter
maybe it's
with
just our special. Like, we have 2 new kickers. We have all new guys on special teams because we overhauled everything with the million defensive backs and rookies. Nick Neiman's in his second year. We have guys that can make impact. I just want to caution. I don't know. I'm beating a dead horse. My point will never be accepted. Everyone's gonna say Ryan Ficken deserves to be the offensive coordinator, head coach next week because of how great our special teams is. I don't know.
Kyle's broken.
I'm lost.
Ryan Ficken calling plays. I want to see
Ryan
it.
Ficken, head coach.
I am going to counter because
Coach
this
of
is
the
an
year.
incredibly
Coach of the year.
positive
Head
question
Ficken.
that I do absolutely think we are a different unit this year because of Ficken. I really do.
Tell me what it is.
The mistakes that we had last year, the shit that we got into last year. What was our coach's name? He was
Swinton, wasn't it?
It was always a liability, and I was always concerned whenever we had to kick the ball or there's any kind of thing. We had formation issues. We had all kinds of issues. This year, they're even coaching him up. What was the one game where we won the game because he pushed the blocker back into the punt returner?
How do you know that wasn't coached previously?
I have a pretty good idea that rookie player who hadn't played special teams before probably got coached up on that this year.
How do you know that they were not coached up on that last year?
Jasir Taylor, that specific play, Jasir Taylor did not play special teams in college. So what can we think? We can think
Kevin,
he got good
I'm
technique
not
and
saying
good
he wasn't
instruction.
coached well this year. I'm saying, how do you know that wasn't coached last year as well? You don't. So you can't just say it's the coach.
It wasn't because it didn't happen.
That doesn't go hand in hand.
Kyle,
just because
Kyle
something
is
doesn't
trying to-
happen doesn't mean it wasn't coached.
I'm with you, Kyle. Kyle is saying if you don't know the facts,
yes,
you can't say for 100%.
better
that
I want Kevin. I want
I
you to
made a
go
good
look
point.
at tape. Look at like
think I made a good point
schematically
there.
what
Kevin's
they're doing
corner.
differently.
I'll take Kevin's corner. Just
Because we
it's
can't
all
just throw out,
conspiracy
Ficken's
theories
a great coach when we don't like. What are the X's and O's that he's doing differently or coaching differently? The drills they're
This
doing.
is so funny to me because your brain is twisted now. Now they're
No, it's not.
complimenting a coach, and you're like,
no,
what the fuck? No, you can't compliment him.
No, I'm
No.
not saying that. I like
proving
Ryan
a point.
Ficken.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that we jump so hard on top of him and give him a lap dance because they're doing good, and we do the polar opposite. Let's just meet in the middle.
What's the opposite of a lap dance?
A kick in the nuts.
Shitting on him, yeah, kicking the nuts. I don't know. It's like we
Cleveland
just got to
steamer.
meet in the middle here and show like maybe our players or maybe Nick Neiman had an incredible play. Maybe J.K. Scott is a better punter than what we had last year.
He is a better
Like
punter.
everything is so different. But right now it's Ficken is God. He's the best coach of the year. And
I agree.
I'm not saying that he's not a good coach. That's not my point at all. I'm just saying let's bring it in, let's tighten it in, and have some leeway on both sides.
Right.
Allow the players to have some credit, the coaches to take some responsibility. It's a team game.
When you make a general statement that says, hey, let's give an attaboy to the special teams, you're not picking any particular player, not saying any particular coach. You're just saying special teams as a whole performing well. You're not necessarily saying what it is or anything like that.
Well, they're performing.
Is that fair though, Kyle,
No,
to say something like
but I
that? Hang
just-
on. Let me. I'm talking to Kyle here.
I heard
Kyle,
you.
Is that
Well,
fair?
why don't you guys start something else? Because I disagree with that entirely.
You're allowed to disagree.
What we
sweetheart.
were last year to what we are this year, there's a significant difference.
But you can't
The
give
players
all
are
the-
different too.
A lot
Right.
of them are the same.
No, they're not.
We have a lot of rookies
New
in
players
there right now. That's all I'm
that
saying.
are
new.
We didn't have those guys last year.
Exactly.
So they're different.
That's what
So this
Kyle's
is not-
saying.
But a lot of these guys are what you didn't listen to my first point. A lot of these guys are rookies who are starters playing cornerback in college that have never played special teams.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to come in not ever having done something and you're able to do it at a very high level, there is instruction there. That's why I think he deserves some credit. And I do agree with
Kyle's not saying that he doesn't deserve credit.
Hey, all I'm just saying is I think you need to give Ficken a little more credit than just saying it's both of them.
Right.
Because yes.
That's not my point, but okay.
That's not his point. He's not saying that Ficken doesn't deserve credit.
I'm not saying that Ficken sucks and he's not doing anything. That's not what I'm saying. Right. I know it's what you heard.
Right.
And you refuse to hear anything different.
Negative.
It's not negative.
No, it's not. Oh my God. I hate you sometimes.
God, you got to listen,
buddy. Firstborn just can't compromise at all.
Macadalgo, thank you for tearing this podcast apart.
I agree with you that Ryan Ficken is doing great and our special teams is awesome.
That's a really nice question.
Nikki, let's move it on now to Nikki McLeod.
Hi, Nikki.
Who asked the
what
question.
You got for us?
So I'm like totally sad we didn't make enough points to beat those little minor men, but I'm super proud of our team giving it everything they had. I thought the final score was going to be like totally gross, gag me with a spoon, but it was like it was still totally close, okay? And everyone on Twitter should like take a chill pill because we're like starting guys who are like practice squad Orama. So like stop spazzing out, okay? I also want to say that I was like totally shocked to hear about the passing of former Charger Adrian Dingle. He was like a friend of mine and would like give us tickets to games and even like a game day ball signed from my mom. Okay, so he was like a choice dude for sure. R.I.P. AD, totally lame that you're gone way too soon. My question for you guys is like, do you think after the gnarly injuries we've had and like keep having every game, do we like sign anyone new or like wait for our guys to heal? Okay, love you, bye.
Good question. That's awesome that Adrian Dingle did that for your family, though. It was the practice squad-orama. I'm with you. It stops spazzing out. These are all good, very good points, Nikki. I'm on the same page with you on these.
And we have to sign some defensive linemen here.
Point.
There's no way around it. We only have one guy on the practice squad that will get elevated, but we need more depth.
But we've lost four guys in the past 2 weeks. So 1 plus or 4 minus 1 equals we still need 3 at least.
That was a lot this week.
That was a lot. So great question, Nikki. And thank you for asking it. Let's move it on now to Chargers Truther, who asked the question. What is the plan to get the run game going? How do we expect to succeed with Herbert doing everything offensively? What do we do? We don't do nothing. So, I mean, like...
So I had an idea that I was just thinking through offensively. We go into these bigger sets, right? Multiple tight ends, bring in an extra lineman, try to get big and run the ball. And we're just not big enough. Like our tight ends aren't good enough at blocking to give us an advantage, right? So if you bring an extra guy in the box, offensively, we bring in a tight end, they're going to bring a defender in the box. If that defender is better at defeating blocks than our extra guy is at blocking, then you now create a negative advantage. So I'm like, get all these tight ends out of there. I'm sorry, like they're not bringing any value into the running game. I want to see us in 20 personnel. So 3 wide receivers and they're like spread out. Get guys out of the box, spread the defense out a little bit. Bring in Xander Horvath with Eckler. So you have 2 running backs, no tight ends. And allow that guy that is an advantage in the blocking game to go and lead block downhill, pull some guys, like go to some power football, but just the guys that don't need to be in the box, don't clutter it. I don't want any more defenders in the box than we need. It also gives Justin a very clear vision. Like if we're in 20 personnel and they still load the box up, we have to be able to throw the ball. If they spread out with our spread, then you have to be able to run the rock. And I think that with the advantage of Xander at fullback being able to lead block, because he is an extremely good blocker, you have to be able to pick 3-4 yards up every single time you do that. So that came to me as I was just kind of thinking through, like, I don't know, like we're not bigger than anyone. When we add people into the box, the person they're adding in is better than our addition. So it's not making it any better.
It's a good point. And they also scored last week. It was that Xander Horvath leading block. He's got a running start too. It's a little different than squaring up with somebody right on the line. So I'm on board for more Horvath for sure. And he can catch. And we did that game 1, and we haven't seen it really since. So
yeah.
Get him more
in
involved.
essence, it is like bringing in a tight end. You just put him in the backfield so he could block either way.
Yeah.
You put a tight end on the right, he's stuck on the right. You put a fullback in the backfield, now we can go whichever way we decide based on the look that you get.
And he's got, from what we've seen, he's got better hands than Trey McKitty. So he's more of an offensive weapon.
Yeah. There you go. Couple of options there.
What they're actually going to do? No clue. No.
Chargers Truther, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to House of Hayne, who asked the question. We lost. I say we almost won with a 4th string wide receiver room. I say we started out better in the first. I think when 7 went down was the nail. The Niners D was better than our wide receiver room. It's not coach's fault. I don't know. It's above my pay grade. What can they do? Is it the turf? Is it the staff? Are we cursed? Can Tom Brady get us in touch with the devil that owns his soul so we can get some healthy players, or an exorcist for our own demons? Love you, bye.
It's so weird because last year, weren't we like praising how healthy we stayed all year with the new strength and conditioning team, and like they're really putting an emphasis on that, right? Yeah. This just feels like shit luck.
It just feels like bad luck. I mean, I can't.
It was the Ravens last year. It's just every team, every once in a while, you get hit with it. Every team thinks that their team is cursed with injuries because every team goes through injuries. This year is especially
But we
bad.
have the proof. We have the numbers.
This year for us is especially bad for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that every team kind of feels that way because anytime you lose a big player, it's heartbreaking.
What do we do?
Yeah. I don't.
Well, we've lost like 10 big players. So
I'm not calling for the heads of strength and conditioning coaches. If players are taking to Twitter now and calling out the grass, change the grass. For God's sake, just give them grass.
For God's sake.
Yeah, we buy enough of your jerseys, put some grass in there.
Well, you build $4 billion stadiums. Put grass in? Like, how is that so tough?
Right.
If that's what they want, just give it to them.
Seems like a pretty simple request. And
I know, like the NFLPA does a lot, and like they're involved way too much in some stuff. You can't get your players grass. I don't know. It seems pretty simple.
It's like those musicians that have writers they're like in the room they have like only green M&Ms. Like they're not asking for some crazy shit.
Right.
Just some grass.
They're asking for grass.
Literally
to play
grass.
football on. Yeah.
Maybe there was some miscommunication. They're like, "Oh, we thought you wanted weed. If you just wanted grass, why didn't you just say so?"
Shit.
Oh, some Bermuda. Oh, we got you.
Yeah, Bermuda, some bluegrass. Come on now.
Delicious.
Come on. Stop. We're not asking for a floating
grass,
stadium.
You can just drink it when you're done with it. We'll get you the whole thing.
Yeah, but just what kind of grass you want. House of Hayne, thank you for asking the question. Let's move on now to Neiman2419.
Certified fresh.
Who asked the question.
How many wins do we need to get into the playoffs? What other wildcard teams do we want to lose to better our chance? I just want to see the Chargers go to the playoffs. Get them in there now.
So who is it? We want every time the Dolphins play, they need to lose.
Everyone in the AFC East. The whole AFC East is above us right now. And then obviously in the AFC North, the Bengals are the ones that are kind of fighting. And that's kind of it. It's like the Bengals and the AFC East right now is the main thing. Because the AFC South is going to be one. What's that? The Chiefs?
The Chiefs. We want
obviously. Always the Chiefs.
Always the Chiefs.
But outside of our division, it's like the Bengals and then the AFC East, all those guys. But I think 10 wins and we get in. I think that still holds true. 10 and you're in. So we got to find a way to finish out the year 5-3.
Yeah, it's possible. It's not impossible to get 5 more. It can be done. Neiman2419, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Sheik, who asked the question.
Despite the loss, could this be the beginning of Murray turning the corner and improving his play?
Kind of talked about that a little earlier.
Might have to look at some film because I just saw one play and it was kind of bad. But I might have to look at it.
It was kind of bad.
I think it was kind of bad just from watching it outside on a projection screen with a bunch of Charger fans. But yeah, I might have to look at some Kenneth Murray tape.
I mean, he's playing very aggressive. So when he does make a play, it's very like, whoa, like, holy shit. Like Murray came in flying and took that guy down. But
it's good to have those thumpers on the team. You keep these guys accountable for like throwing these little check downs. You got this guy screaming at you. You're going to get somebody lit up and hurt. So you got to have some of this on your team. These are it's like, he's like a little wilder Rodney Harrison right at this point. Like
even wilder. Wow.
Yeah. A little more reckless. Rodney was like an all-around, like really smart player. I think he's just a heat-seeking missile.
All right. I like it. Sheik, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Gavin Gibson, who asked the question. Firstly, how tough is Herbert? And that throw to Carter was just, chef's kiss. Again, we're hit with more injuries. Will it ever end? I hope it does, because my powder blue heart can't take much more. Anyway, when do you guys think Keenan will be back, and what do you see us finishing the season on? I personally think we make the playoffs with either 5-6 or 10-7. As always, guys, bolt up. Love you. Bye.
I guess the baby's really getting to Gavin on this one.
Yeah, Gavin's doing some late nights, and I'm sure you guys can attest to that with a baby.
Tired dad voice for the win. You did pretty good.
Thank you. Never having had a child myself,
hey,
I can.
You channeled
acting. Thank you.
You channeled us. You really got the vibes.
Yeah, the throw to Carter again. That one throw, the amount of like crazy ass catches that Carter has done this year is insane. Like just the tight windows that Carter's been able to catch is absolutely wild. Will the injuries ever end? I want to say yes. But
I mean, they have to eventually,
not.
or we just won't have a team.
I don't think I have enough players that can play in the NFL the way we're going.
When we think Keenan will be back, I mean, hopefully we'll see him
God
next
knows.
week.
Only God knows.
I think honestly, just like I'm managing myself so I don't get myself too excited because I do that. I seem to do that a lot. It's kind of my thing.
It's
I think
your move.
It's my move.
It's kind of even thing.
Kind of a thing. Mike Williams, I think, plays this week. I don't think Keenan's back. Something's going to happen midweek where he's like, I don't feel 100%, and then he'll be back for the following. I think that's what's going to happen.
Okay.
I hope not, but I think that's what's probably going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, 11-6, 10-7, definitely has a very good chance of making the playoffs.
I think it's the
11-6
team. If we can get guys healthy this week, a couple guys, if we can win against the Chiefs, I think we can go 11-6.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be a huge start.
Huge. Gavin, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Melanie. And shout out to OM Run. You already asked a question earlier, but you asked a second one later on, and it kind of falls in with Melanie, so I'm going to go with Melanie on this one.
On to the next. Shaking this game off, and we'll get ready for next Sunday night. What do you guys do to unwind after a loss? Bolt up.
Yeah, losses can be tough.
Don't go on Twitter.
Don't go on Twitter.
No, that'll wind you
Not
up.
a way to unwind.
Yeah. Shut down social media. Just set it off to the side. Finding something that can make you laugh, make you smile, whether it's a TV show, whether it's a video game, whether it's, fail army on YouTube, watching other people like just bite it and eat it. Those are always good.
Austin Powers always works for me.
Yes.
Always.
Yeah. Austin Powers is a great go-to.
It kind of depends on how devastating the loss is. Like the full blowout losses, I really just got to like take a nap.
Go to bed.
I got to like power down for a minute because
power down.
I just got to power down.
Just shut it down.
Sometimes you got to turn off, turn it back on.
Yeah, just literally like a hard reboot, like
unplug,
Apple shift escape, like get out of there and come back.
IT support. Have you tried turning it off, turning it back on?
It isn't plugged in.
Yeah. That's generally for the bad ones. For these ones, like I think it's just the amount of time we're ahead in a game. Like us being ahead for 55 minutes. I was feeling good the whole game. It wasn't like right off the bat, I was feeling like down on myself. So I kind of found myself, it was a lot easier on this game to like kind of go home. It was late. So went home, just got in bed, went to sleep, woke up like, all right, forgot to send out the Ask Boltfam tweet. Adam reminded me, and that was pretty much it.
Hey, buddy. I know
buddy.
you don't want to do it. Can you?
Can you do
Can
something?
you do the
please?
post for the Ask Boltfam?
Yeah. So, what about you guys?
I wrestle with. I usually play with the kiddos. Wrestle
Take your
just
aggression
for
out
me.
on your kids.
Oh yeah, throw them in the pool.
Nice.
300, kick them into the deep end. Something along those lines.
There you go.
Sweet.
Yeah. Like I said, it's finding stuff that makes you laugh, makes you happy. It makes you realize at the end of the day, you have absolutely no control over what happens with this team or where it goes or how they perform. And all we are fans. And all we can do is support these guys and just move it on to the next game. Like you said, it's on to the next. Go on to the next game. It's going to be another primetime game. It's something to be excited about. It's going to be an AFC West team. So let's hope these guys can come back healthier. Let's get some players back. And I'm excited. Let's go for it.
I'm ready. And
yeah,
I can't
we're
wait.
going to be at the game. I get to see my brother. I haven't seen you in months. So we're
going to fight a little bit, probably. Have some debates. Healthy debates.
I want a rematch on that arm wrestle for sure.
Oh, wow.
Why?
Because I've been working.
You've been training?
Yeah, since last March.
Who's your coordinator?
I've watched Over the Top.
Does he deserve any praise?
Yeah. Who's your coach? Who are we going to give all the glory to? Not you.
I don't know if you've seen Over the Top, but
okay, got it.
Yeah,
All
Sylvester's my coach. He has really good technique in that movie. And then I've also been watching YouTube videos on how to you up in arm wrestling.
He's gonna we're gonna start. He's gonna kick me in the nuts and then tap me out.
He's gonna slap you in the face and bam.
Get the win however you need to. Okay,
Yeah.
Call me Kenneth
Coaching.
Murray.
He's gonna go, what's that over there? Bam. Yeah. There you go, Melanie. A couple of ideas. Thank you for asking the question. And I'm Ron. You both asked the same question. Let's move it on now to Hangry Seth.
Yeah.
Who asked the question?
We fought! We fought! And we fought! We fought our heart out! We are the ultimate warriors! We continue to fight, even when the odds are against us! Now who are we getting back next week that will help us fight? Fight, I say! Get love you by!
Holy shit.
My goodness.
Ultimate Warriors.
Ultimate
yelling.
Warrior. It's a screamer.
He's a screamer.
Yeah, who are we getting back next week? Well, Coach says Chris Rumpf is getting full practices in, and we're trending in the right direction for Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. Outside of that,
Pretty much it.
Isn't this the beginning of the timetable for Joey's return? It was 8 to 10 weeks.
It's starting to get into that talk. Yeah, we're starting to
6 to 8. Wasn't last week 6?
We got
Pretty
hurt
sure.
week 3, and now this is week 11.
Yeah. So yeah.
So I thought the timetable was 8 to 10. So he's on the cusp here.
He's on the
soon.
cusp of coming back. Probably won't be this next game, but it'll become
Maybe the
topic of
Raider
conversation.
game. I think maybe the Raider game. Come back for Carr.
That would be good.
Oh shit.
That would be a good time to come back.
Because that would be awesome. Because then the Raiders will never have not seen us with Mac and Bosa at the same time, which I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Turn.
All right. Something to look forward to, Hangry Seth. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Friar Bolt, who asked the question.
Well, our boys gave it everything they had on Sunday night. I was proud of the effort and the grit our team showed despite the injuries. Now it's time for the Queefs. And I have a feeling this time the Bolts will pull out this victory. Call it optimism, call it hope, or maybe it's because potentially we could have Mike Keenan and Bosa all coming back this week. Oh, by the way, can someone please tell Keenan to stop tweeting after the games? I find it odd when players they don't play tend to question coaches on social media. Anyways, do you guys feel as optimistic as I do? Or do you feel like this team has just too many injuries to overcome? Also, do you now start to put some of the blame on this stagnant offense on Lombardi? Or again, the injuries dictating plays?
Sexy baby.
Oh, Lombardi. Yeah, no, we're absolutely optimistic there for our bowl.
Yeah.
We got Charger football game. And
I have an
prime time.
analogy. I feel like it's like, in baseball, the next guy coming up to bat, he's on deck. What does he do when he's on deck? He gets the donut on his bat, like the weighted donut that he puts on his back. Swings, it's harder to swing, right? It's like, it's challenging. Get that swing speed up. When you take that thing off, you just walk up there, Barry Bonds ready to hit jacks. I think that's the Chargers right now. We're on deck
Good
right
analogy,
now.
dude.
Yeah, we have
donuts.
we have the donut on. Once we get that donut off, some of these pet players coming back.
Yeah,
that swing speed's going up.
Heavy donut.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah,
it's a good analogy.
Yeah,
I love that. It's a really good way to look at it. And similar thing. I remember this one time. It was crazy because I played ice hockey for a long time. We did this one drill where we had these little tiny pucks, and you would like try and do it with the little puck, and you're like falling apart, and eventually you get good at it. And then they give you the regular puck, and you're like fucking
So
Wayne
easy.
Gretzky. It's awesome.
Why do we do this all the time?
Yeah, this is genius. Whose idea was this? It's an expensive
going to be like
camp I
Lombardi
went to.
once he has his players back.
Yeah.
It's like I can call anything and it works.
Oh my god!
Weird.
We got
Look at all these
talent on the
plays we
field.
can do now.
Yeah.
All right. There you go, Friar Bolt. Thank you for asking the question. And we go out of Ask Boltfam with Hank Zilla.
Certified fresh.
Okay, who asked the question? Hey there, CC gang. Do you know the difference between Andy Reid and a walrus? One's fat, stinks like fish, and has a mustache. The other? Well, the other is a walrus. The queefs.
Oh my god.
By chance, did you happen to see the female mock-up of all the NFL quarterbacks that NFL Memes did on Twitter? Pretty freaking funny. Mahomes looked like a soaking wet rat. Vomit. Whereas Herbert, oh my goodness, is a total fox. I didn't realize it would be so easy to turn me gay, but hey, I guess that's where we are now. You know what I'm saying, Kevin Wolldog? Wink, wink. On to the game. I'm proud of the team for the effort that they put out there. They came in as major underdogs and gave the 49ers a run for their money. They actually led all the way till the fourth quarter. Here's my question. Why is the offense always running at the strong side of the defense? I get that it helps to slow down the pass rush to that side, but at some point, running directly at Bosa seems ludicrous. Please help me make sense of it. Okay, love you, bye.
I did see those. They're pretty funny.
They are pretty cute.
I'm not really into brunettes. So if they would have kept Justin's blonde hair,
you would have been a little more attracted to him.
I'd take a swing.
Kev was nitpicking all of the photos.
Being a brunette myself, I'm kind of blonde. My wife's blonde.
Your wife's blonde, so that's good.
She's super blonde.
Super blonde.
The joke at the beginning, he sent us a picture of a walrus replacing Andy Reid.
So good.
Which is so good.
I'm gonna post this. Oh, I know what to do. I had an idea. I'll have something for you guys coming up for this game.
Hold on to your butts. All right. Well, Kyle, I look to you. Why are they running let's see. Why is the offense always running at the strong side of the defense?
Yeah, so I guess one element of it is running at at Nick Bosa. That's don't do that, right?
Don't do it.
I understand like every once in a while to keep him honest, but at the same time, any run play should keep him honest. You don't want to get too predictable, so the occasional one you have to go at him a little bit. But the running to the strong side of the defense is dictated by the strong side of the offense. Wherever we line up, they match it. So if we're running at the strong side of their defense, that means we're running at the strong side of our offense. So if you're just looking at it from a strength perspective, that would make sense. But player specific, don't run at Nick Bosa. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. He's the best player on their team. Run the other way. Make our strength the other side. But occasionally you got to keep him honest, slow him down a little bit on his pass rush. Try to be physical with him too. Go hit him a couple times. It's never a bad idea to try to slow him down. But yeah, don't run at him too much. It's like running at Khalil Mack. doesn't always, more than not, it's not going to work.
Well, in the one play they like bootlegged and trying to run it away from him, do a little fake out. He was there, sniffed that out, and it was over. So, yeah.
So, all right. Well, there you go, Hank Zilla. Thank you for asking the question, and thank you everybody for asking questions and Ask Bolt Fam. Made this an extra chunky episode, and we appreciate it over here at Charge to Chat. But I think that's going to do it for us for this episode of Charge to Chat. Any final thoughts there, gentlemen?
See you, Thunder Alley. Let's go.
I got nothing else. I'm just ready for more Charger football.
All right.
Kyle's regretting me coming home now.
Never stop that.
Well, that's going to do it for us here at Charge Chat, folks. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any plays.
Over the top. K love you, bye.
K love you, bye.
K love you, bye.
Sometimes dad's better.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Oh, man, I'm thirsty. Do you have anything to drink? Sure, bro. Let's see. I've got some milk. No. Soda? No, thanks. How about some Wheezin? What's that? It's juice. What kind of juice? It's Wheezin Juice. It's really good. Yeah, but what's in it? It's rich in natural energy, full of tons of vitamins and minerals. Is it safe to drink? Well, kids like the taste of Wheezin because it's always naturally sweet. As sweet as an orange right from a tree. So it's an orange juice. No, man, it's Wheezin. What does that mean? Wheezin Juice. When you gotta wheeze some juice, reach for Wheezin Juice. Just tell me what it is.